years. But let's face it, the Premier League, we've got to change that. That's for sure. We've got to change the view of that because that's important without a doubt.
Forest have a tricky trip to Bournemouth on Sunday. Elsewhere, Unai Emery wants Villa to be more clinical from the penalty spot. Emi Buendia missed in the defeat to go-ahead Eagles, the 6th time Villa have failed to convert in 12 months. A better night for Celtic's players, though, compared to a Honda Civic at the weekend. Brendan Rodgers says the win over Sturm Graz wasn't quite the Ferrari he wanted, more like a Range Rover Sport.
Hopefully we have no more Morris Minors in the performance. Not that they're a bad car, they're a fantastic car and amazing. But no, I think we showed the level with determination tonight.
Now, we're told Sheffield Wednesday is set to be placed into administration imminently. They owe HMRC £1 million in unpaid tax. The club's bottom of the championship and will be hit with a 10-point penalty. Rafa Benitez is the new manager of Panathinaikos, and we're told huge NBA betting scandal could be just the tip of the iceberg. Here's talkSPORT's US writer Brian T. Smith.
This is like The Sopranos or The Godfather meets Tim Donaghy. This is serious business. This is the NBA's worst nightmare.
And coach are among dozens arrested as the FBI investigates allegations of illegal betting and rigged poker games linked to the mafia. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
Claims there are still significant challenges in how police tackle grooming gangs, and a teacher's become the first patient in the UK to receive treatment for MS, which doctors say could transform lives. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Rain or shine, our mobile tyre fitting service comes to you, so you can stay on the sofa this winter. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
In the northeast, cloudy with rain becoming heavier. Elsewhere, scattered showers and sunny spells. Those showers sometimes heavy and thundery, particularly in the southwest. Windy and feeling cold.
Very good morning to you. Listening to Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and the former Watford captain Troy Deeney on talkSPORT. So penalties from Morgan, Gibbs White and Igor Jesus secured Forest their first win in European football for 30 years. Has Dyche won his first true test, winning back the supporters? Meanwhile, another defeat, another performance, that along with 0 goals and 0 points and 0 positives for Rangers, apart from maybe the reparation of the relationship with Danny Rowe and the supporters. What kind of dressing room is the new manager inheriting? Is the players publicly criticising their teammates a sign of strength or weakness? We'll get into that with Troy Deeney very shortly. Also today, does Liverpool's winning formula no longer include Mo Salah? Has Marcus Rashford reinvented himself already? Is it merely a moment in time? And we're just over 24 hours away from a huge heavyweight clash as Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker go head-to-head. It's Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and Troy Deeney, and we're live on talkSPORT. Hello everybody, good morning. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Samsung TVs. The Connected app is available on your Fire TV, Apple TV, Chromecast, Android and Google TV, even Prime Video as well. Wherever you watch, we will be there. We're on your radio as well. Get in touch with us whenever you want. You can WhatsApp us 03 717 223344. You can text us 81089. We'd love to hear from you today. We want to hear from Forest fans this morning. 35 years after he left as a young pro, Sean Dyche was back at the City Ground as the manager of Nottingham Forest. He said, I've waited a long time for that, and it was a good reintroduction to life in the Gary Baldy shirt, wasn't it, for Sean Dyche? It was a good win and just what they needed.
Yeah, the gaffer got off to a winning start. I think you always need that. I thought it was a difficult start for him. Obviously, Porto, a team that we know historically very good in Europe, but handled the occasion very well, got the fans on side and got Gibbs White scoring again, which is always many boxes to tick, but the biggest one is clean sheet.
Yep, no Chris Wood last night because of a knee injury. Jesus played up front, dropping deep, a little bit into midfield, getting in the pockets of space, but also crashing the box as well. Back to a back four, which looked a little bit better for me. Mario and Milenkovic back together again. Anderson and Louise just in front of them. Hudson-Odoi on the left and Doy on the right, attacking at pace. I mean, it felt like going back to the future. Is this almost a sort of sign where the club have gone, do you know what? Just forget that last 8 games. Wipe that from your mind, almost like a little Men in Black situation. Let's get rid of that and let's go back to what we're good at.
He can't believe his luck, Sean Dyche, can he? He's walked into a really good set of players that were criminally mismanaged by Ange Postecoglou. And as you say, he's gone back to basics, do the easy bits right, defend your lines, don't give away easy opportunities, and then use the attacking weapons that we have. It's a brilliant win against a Porto side, riding high in the Portuguese league. And I think the only way is up now for Nottingham Forest.
Forest fans, give us a call this morning, 03717 223344. What's your ambition now? Because when the statement dropped about the appointment of Sean Dyche, it was all very sort of, I don't know, cagey, a little bit conservative, not necessarily highlighting too much ambition. But having seen what you saw last night, is it almost as if the last 8 games didn't happen? Can you go back to the future? Is this just a case of correcting a mistake? And can you realign your ambitions now? What do you want to achieve under Sean Dyche? 03717 223344. And are you okay with that sort of mistake making? Do you just have to accept that sometimes that's going to happen when you've got an owner as ambitious and as charismatic as Evangelos Marinakis? This was Morgan Gibbs White after the game. This is what he had to say after scoring from the spot.
Morgan, does that feel so much better?
I feel like I can finally breathe. It's been a difficult couple of months here, with all the change that's happened, the bad performances. So it's happy to get our first win out of like 8-9 games, I think it is. And to do it here at the City Ground in the European nights is an incredible feeling, and there's no one here that deserves it more than the stadium, the fans. So we're delighted to get the 3 points on the table. I know those 3 points for the fans are sticking by us.
Like, he's the captain more often than not in the absence of Ryan Yates, so he feels the pressure, and you could see that coming off his shoulders there. What did he mean by we can finally breathe?
Just that weight of every game going, is this the one now that we're going to win? I think the pressure builds, and for fans, they feel it on a match day. For players, you feel it every single day because you're trying to correct those things. And, the day after a game, a fan will be annoyed and frustrated, but they go about their day. Day after a game for a player is debrief and going through every single mistake you made and try to rectify it and get things right for the next one. I just think for Gibbs White, I think for me, I just want to see him playing now. I didn't like how him and Chris Wood were on the NFL on the Sunday, the day after Ange leaves. They're doing interviews pitch side. Now, whether that was an obligation or not, I don't know, but I don't think that looks right. I think when you've just lost...
This is last Sunday.
Last Sunday, yeah.
The Jets game on the Sunday.
No, it was at Wembley. It was I can't remember what game it was. It was Wednesday at Wembley. They were there and they were doing pitch side. I was doing match of the day. I was sat with Shay Given and we were watching the game and that was on there. And I went, hold on, is that Gibbs White and Chris Wood doing interviews? And they've just sacked Ange Postecoglou. And me and Shay both had the same reaction. And I think when he says he can finally breathe now, maybe he has got to come under a little bit of stick for doing those kind of interviews. But
aren't they allowed to have a bit of downtime and clear their mind? Especially bearing in mind that there was a watermark there. That was the end of one era, the start of a new one. But you all reset and start again?
You were part of it, and you know this better than me. Every single person, as soon as it happens, you could go to the game. No one say don't go to the game. You don't go do pitch side interviews.
It happened with Harry Kane, didn't it, when he flew off to the Masters on the back of a Tottenham defeat on Saturday, and he got pelters for that at the time.
You can still go. Obviously, these things are already planned and booked into, but don't be doing interviews. You've just got to say, even the press officers at Forest have got to say, no, that's no good. But I think it was a case of they knew Dyche was coming and trying to get the feel-good factor, but they've got tougher moments to come. Let's have it right. They've still got a lot of ground to make up in the Premier League.
They're not as bad as 8 games without a win.
Of course not. Of course not. But there's still players missing out of the squads. There's Amari Hutchinson and people like that weren't even in the squad at the weekend. So how do you fit everybody into...
Well, this is a question I was going to ask you. I was making a list of all the players. I was at the game on Saturday with you, and you and I were just sitting there looking at, James McAtee, Amari Hutchinson, Dylan Backwell's got a bit of an injury, Angus Gunn, the Scotland goalkeeper, standing on the sidelines in their civvies, because they can't get in the match day squad.
Angus Gunn's only third choice, though, isn't he? That's his whole role, isn't it?
Yeah, but they did buy him.
It's still a massive expense. It's still a wage. It's still an experienced player that's part of the agenda. You've got to keep fit. You've got to keep training because he's got international ambitions of his own. He wants to go to the World Cup.
Is this not Evangelos Marinakis not learning from past mistakes, though? Because the issue that Steve Cooper had when they first came into the Premier League was that they signed too many players. Last season, they still signed a number of players, but not the same volume. They had a more settled team, and it brought success on the pitch.
But then, I suppose, devil's advocate for that is they stayed up the first time they did it, so it was relatively successful. Do you get what I mean? So maybe he's thinking, again, more bodies for those times. But
I think Nuno actually asked for more players as well. He wanted 2 players in every position because of Europe.
Now he's got 7.
Well, look, the one thing that has returned is the solidity. That was the first clean sheet in 21 matches since a 1-0 win over Manchester United in April for Nottingham Forest. So they'll be absolutely delighted by that. Jake has called us. Hello, Jake.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. You're a Nottingham Forest fan. What did you think of last night's game?
It's just made me a lot more happy, I can't lie to you. I think it's just gave a feel-good factor back at the club again.
Do you sort of subscribe to the view that it's almost a little bit like a Men in Black situation where everybody now just has to have that little wand in their face and forget what's happened in the last 8 games and get back to what you were doing before? Because this squad isn't really built to play the type of football that Ange Postecoglou was trying to implement.
Could you come up with a more modern reference than Men in Black, by the way?
Why?
Like
what? Come on,
I don't know what Men in Black is.
Really?
What year was Men in Black out?
I don't know. They just remade another one, didn't they?
Anyway, Jake's trying to have a conversation. Sorry, Jake.
Sorry, Jake. That was Alex Crook that interrupted you. Don't worry about that. Have another Men in Black moment. Forget that he intervened. Right, go. You say what you want to say.
It's more of a clean slate than anything. Just the season starts now. Plus, we've only picked up 5 points in the league so far, and only one of them was with, well, 4 of them, was with Nuno. So under Ange we got 1 point, and it obviously whatever happened. It's just a clean slate now. Season starts here. It's still pretty fresh in the league as a whole. Just keep going from here now.
Yeah, Jake, can I ask you a question? Obviously, I wasn't at the game yesterday, but me and Sam were there at the weekend against Chelsea, and there was a nervous energy around the place. Has that completely lifted for all fans, or is there still a little bit of worry?
I think sometimes it feels more excitement than anything.
Yeah.
Just like a buzz. It felt more like our first home European game than the game against Midtjylland.
Yeah.
It felt just more atmospheric as such. Fans were up for it. It just seemed happier overall, really.
Okay.
Weird.
Jake,
good.
Jake, thank you very much. Good luck. Enjoy the rest of the season. Let's hope it works out for Sean Dyche. He's a good guy. He's been working for us at talkSPORT as well, and he's done a couple of great shows here in this building. Let's speak to Mike, who is also a Forest fan, who's joined us now. Hi, Mike.
Morning, fellas.
What do you want to say about the turn of events at the City Ground?
Well, first morning in a while, we've had a smile on our face. The caller before was right. Our season starts now, and we look more like us as well. We look like we'd remembered who we are. I think Nuno does deserve some of the blame for a little bit of the mess, and probably more than Ange, to be honest, because he abandoned us because he didn't get his own way. And I think the club wanted to change the profile of the player because we were found out after 30 games last year, and that's why we finished 7th, not 3rd.
Back into last season was a little bit tepid, wasn't it? And I think sometimes we forget that it fell off a little bit towards the end of last season.
And that bad run did start after Man United. Tuchel got in Gibbs White's head, Pep got in his head, our best player lost his form, and it all went. Today is the first day of the new era. There was great energy. We looked like us, and we can work from that. I know it was 2 penalties, and I'll be honest, that nervousness that Troy asked about did come in the ground after we thought they'd scored.
Okay.
But you know, VAR saved us, and it just feels like we can build on this. And Sean Dyche is really set up for Europe, I think. We're hard to beat. Everybody ran. And we've got technical players who can do something. I thought Hudson-Odoi was excellent last night, and he's been in and out of the team. Everybody just looked like it was all very familiar, and it's exciting again. And you know, classic Sean Dyche. We'll try for a shutout, an absolute bore fest on Sunday, and then we go again, and then we got Man United coming. And 5 years ago, who would have said our 3 home games would have been Chelsea, Porto, and Man United, and we beat the European tie? So it's an absolute basket case of a club, and it's really fun. But when it's bad, it's really bad. But when it's good and the energy's there, and we all believe, It's brilliant. And Sean Dyche said it in his opening interview. He's like, we care, and that's what we felt. He knows what it means to the city. And I think Gibbs White and Wood being at the NFL, I think that was to just go, look, get some good energy out there. We need to show we're together, you two our lead players. We need some publicity of going, this isn't collapsing, and there's and something new is happening. So,
Mike, very quickly on that though, mate. Very quickly, if you lost, would it be the same conversation?
I would be on the phone to you guys going, there was energy before, and it turns out we would have lost. It would have been a 1-0. Obviously, it would have near head. But I think luck was on our side last night, and sometimes
sorry, I meant in regards to the lads going to the NFL, putting the stuff out. I said if you would have lost, would it still be seen as a good thing?
Oh, we did lose. They win. I don't understand your question, Troy. Sorry.
No, now you just said it was good for them putting it out there, wasn't it? That they'd gone there and done it because it's on the back of a win this week. But if you'd have lost yesterday, and they'd gone on Sunday, would you have now been going, that was a good thing that they were there or not?
I don't. No, I don't. I just think it was a way to clean the slate. If we'd have lost last night, would I be saying they shouldn't have been at the NFL? Probably not, because if you look at Morgan Gibbs White's running, it's hard to knock the guy. He's never not given us everything.
It was just a question.
He's never not given us everything.
Mike, thank you very much. Appreciate you giving us a call. 03717 223344. You can ring us on that number. You can WhatsApp us on that number. You can voice note us on that number. You can text us 81089 as well. It did feel a little bit, Mike, there was more spirit, more energy, more aggression. It looked a little bit more comfortable, as Mike was saying. I wonder if that's because everyone was in sort of familiar positions and it felt like a more familiar approach from Nottingham Forest. Give us a call. Tell us what you think. Men in Black 1997. Men in Black 2 2002. Men in Black 3 2012. Hold on. Men in Black International 2019. I think that's a pretty current reference. I don't know about you. I know he doesn't go to the cinema. He doesn't listen to music. He doesn't have any references in popular culture. So for him to call me out on that feels a little bit humiliating.
A mutual friend of ours has just sent me a message and said, how old is Sam? 73.
47. And the Men in Black podcast, by the way, is available wherever you get your podcast.
So good.
Stick it into your search engine and you will find Chris Foy analysing all of the decisions from the weekend's Premier League action. This is talkSPORT with Selco Builders Wellhouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com. This is talkSPORT. Sam Matterface, Troy Deeney and Alex Crook. And you were saying, Crookie, what were you saying?
No, we were just talking about 1990s film.
I don't think we were.
We were talking about Rangers fans wanting to go back to the future.
The good news is that you're brave enough to say everything you say off air, on air, aren't you? We'll get to Rangers in just a second. Listen, I think Rangers in a bit of a tough spot, and I think we saw that with Taverniers' interview last night. But the way that Danny Roll handled himself after the game was pretty impressive. We'll hear from him, and we'll speak about them a little bit later on. Not such a great night for Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. Was it a little bit embarrassing for both those teams to lose last night? Ike Larnaca, not very good away from home. They missed a lot of chances in the game. We were both there last night, Crookie, at Selhurst Park. And Aston Villa lost to go-ahead Eagles last night.
Well, you thought I overcooked it in commentary when I described it for Palace as a humiliating defeat. But to lose to a team
I just said
fifth in the Cypriot League,
not like you to go into
at home, I do think is embarrassing. We were talking on the train, weren't we, about the success of the Premier League teams in the Champions League, and your motto is that unless you're playing Barcelona, Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, you should always win your European games.
Yes.
And certainly Palace and Villa should have had too much class for these two opponents. What was it Jamie O'Hara said last night? Aston Villa lost to a road sign and Crystal Palace lost to an airport.
That's not very nice, is it?
Do you know what? I thought Larnaca were really well organised. It's easy to sit back and destroy, isn't it? Than it is to go out and play. And Crystal Palace were charged with doing something different. And actually, they're going to have to get used to this because if you look at the odds, you look at the analysis of all the statistical models, they are massive favourites to win this competition. So they're a bit of a prize scout. People are going to come in and sit in against them. And that's not really what they're used to playing against, is it? It's usually the other way around.
No, absolutely. And I think you look at their game against Everton springs to mind in that regard, where they should have really won that on paper, better team. But then just when teams sit back, they just struggle. They need the space in behind, especially with the runners that they've got. And, for Villa, I think the result is actually worse than the performance because the performance weren't bad. Had a lot of shots, a lot of chances. Obviously, Buendia missed a penalty. I think if you perform like that over the course of time, you'll win more games than you'll lose. So they'll kind of just chalk that down to it's a bit annoying. But I think for Palace, I loved that Glasner's interview afterwards where he's talking about that maybe we needed that as a reset, check the egos. And producer Joe was asking earlier, like, isn't that his job? I don't think it's impossible for a manager to try and keep people grounded. Because his message will just become stale otherwise. You're winning. You've got to keep encouraging, keep going. And then when you get a moment like this where you lose, it's like, okay, now we've been humbled. Let's go again, and we're going to trade even harder.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they created enough chances to have won the game. Eddie Nketiah missed a golden chance. Mateta drew a save out of the goal.
The header from Lacroix should have scored as well from the corner.
Absolutely. It was a mistake that led to the goal, so that was a bit of an issue. What about Aston Villa not selecting Elliott from the start again? Harvey Elliott, who joined on loan on deadline day from Liverpool with the option to buy him for 35 million quid. I mean, listen, he's appeared 5 times so far. He's not featured in any of the last 3 games. Now, there's a bit of speculation online. We don't know about this. Maybe you can tell me about this because there was a suggestion that if he registers 10 appearances across all competitions, it triggers an immediate buy for 35 million quid. Are they trying to avoid that? I mean, is there a conspiracy theory here about the possibility of that? What's the situation?
There's a lot of the season to go if that is the case. I mean, there is an obligation to buy included in the contract, but quite often that is appearance related. But he's going to play 10 games.
You mean the end price is dependent on the...
Well, no, whether or not the obligation actually gets triggered. So it's an obligation if he does play a certain number of games. But he's going to get to 10 appearances.
Signing him if you're not prepared to buy him anyway.
For Harvey Elliott, particularly with Liverpool's run of form, I think there's a good argument to be made that he would have got more minutes if he just stayed at Liverpool than by making this move to Aston Villa. He was signed very late in the window, wasn't he, on transfer deadline day, along with Victor Lindelof and Jadon Sancho. And you do have to question...
We were positive about it. He's a cracking
It looked a good signing, but did Unai Emery actually want him?
This is a waste of talent at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Again, Villa fans are probably going to be disappointed at Birmingham fans talking about this, but you look at someone like Bogard, the young lad who started last night. Good player, but he's nowhere near as good as Harvey Elliott. So I don't know whether it's is there a breakdown between manager and player? Because if you look at it based on purely on talent, you've got to shoehorn him in some capacity to get him in. He can play anywhere across the front line. I mean, he can play anywhere as a two holding midfielder.
Buendia who's taken his position though, isn't it? Or it's
I don't know. He can play. He can play as an 8 as well. He's good. He's good enough to do that, especially against a go-ahead Eagles team where you're going to have loads of the ball. So for me, you put Sancho on the high left. Could Harvey Elliott not play there instead of Sancho? There's so many things.
How was Sancho last night?
Not great. Not great. He
keeps proving Man United wrong, doesn't he, Jadon Sancho?
Such a nasty guy. He came up after like 65.
How have you got any friends?
He hasn't. It's just you. But no. But he's again like you have to. I'll always give wide players a bit more time because they are mavericks, right? You want to get them up to speed and they'll try things. But I think for Harvey Elliott, he's such a fantastic talent that I just don't understand how Villa, especially with the start of the season that they had, which was pretty poor, how he doesn't get in the team.
And he had his pick of teams as well. He could have gone to Germany and linked up with Leipzig. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp was pushing that. He's chosen to go to Aston Villa, and I wonder if he might be regretting that at this moment in time.
03717 223344 is the number to call if you want to get in touch. If you're an Aston Villa fan, maybe you want to have your say on Harvey Elliott not being in the team and on Aston Villa not winning last night. Where does it leave you in the Europa League? Crystal Palace fans, if you want to get in touch, is this the reset that you needed? That's the view of your manager. We're also going to talk about Rangers in the next section of the programme, so stick around. This is Talk Sport. Very good morning to you. It is talkSPORT. It's Sam Matterface with Troy Deeney and Alex Crook. Rangers now bottom of the Europa League after losing last night to SK Brun by 3-0. Emil Kornvig, Jakob Sorensen and Noah Holm with the goals. It was the first game for Danny Roll in charge. They had just one shot on target. They've lost their last 3 games in all competitions now, and afterwards James Tavernier, the captain, was not happy.
Just a disgraceful performance, simple as that. It's all the years I've been here, you know, it's for the consistency of poor performance that we're putting in. I've not experienced it before. You know, some of us show our aggression after the games, after we get beat. You expect all the lads to take that in, but all individually we have to look at ourselves much harder, because it's, you know, you can get instructions from managers, but we simply have to put that on the pitch, and we were just second best, first ball, second balls, you know, not enough fight. And I shouldn't be saying that for a player of Rangers. You know, that should be the given. You should want to fight, go for the ball. You know, even if it's a scrappy game, you've got to make it a scrappy game. But it's just far too easy at this minute playing against us, and that's the hurtful thing about this all.
Is that taking ownership of a situation, or is it an odd thing to say when you're part of the performance?
50-50. It's an odd thing to say because they've been terrible all year. And obviously you are part of it. You are captain. You're taking ownership of it. I think he's got a little bit of stock because of the amount of time he's been there. And I'm talking a tiny bit of stock. I think when you lose 3-0, and you're captain, you have to kind of own it, and it's kind of your fault. And I think people want to hear how you're going to fix it, not what's already happening. And you know, there was arguments in the change room. It's like, well, no one really cares. How's it going to be fixed? And I think that's more of what needs to be said. And I think Rangers fans will have to tell me better, but I just don't know where the spark is anymore. I don't know who's the player you go, right, that player's going to turn up week in, week out, and he's going to be the driving force behind it. Obviously, you've got a new manager. Maybe that will change things, but it's like, who's the player now that you pin your hopes on? I just don't know who that player is anymore.
Rangers fans, and I know a few Rangers fans, will say that James Tavernier's performances over the last year or so have not been great, so I'm not sure he does have quite as much credit in the bank as maybe
he's been there a
maybe
long time, and he's won things, and that's what I'm about. From past time, he keeps it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the scenes at the airport weren't great. I understand the Rangers fans' frustration. I think
just outline what those were, because we haven't mentioned those.
Yeah, well, Patrick Stewart, the chief executive, and Kevin Fairwell, the sporting director, were confronted as they boarded their flight back to Glasgow. I get that. Danny Roll also had to apologise to fans. I don't really understand that. He's been there for one game.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it. Obviously, you know, I'm not on social. So what?
Rolling across it on.
So
YouTube
what is the confrontation? Like, are they shouting at them or are they being physical?
So what they're saying is they say that the fans have shouted at Patrick Stewart, who is the CEO and the technical director, Kevin Fairwell, get yourselves to F off. That was what was being
okay.
At.
So yeah, just when I hear confrontation, I think physical.
Yeah, more of a verbal.
Sorry.
One of the fans was heard saying, "This is our life. This is everything to us." And actually, Danny Roll ends up going over to the fans, talking to them. He completed a walk across the pitch to apologise to supporters in the away end. At the airport, he tried to step in and calm down the situation. Yeah. Look, I think one of the things that they're going to benefit from with Danny is that he's very good as a people person and a PR person. He knows how to talk to people. But he's obviously done very well wherever he's been in terms of keeping people in the...
He's just Danny him off there.
Did you call him Daddy?
Danny Rowe, yeah, that's his name.
Okay. No, you just called him Daddy. That's all. Sorry, carry on.
He's very good at keeping people on track, but also he's a good tactician as well. So look, he knows. And you listened to his interview last night. He knows that the performance wasn't good enough. He was actually talking about raising standards. We need to raise standards.
But he's not the one who needs to apologise. I understand the anger.
Yeah, but he's taking the responsibility.
Stewart and Phil. Well, yeah,
and that's what you have to do. If you're a new manager and you walk into a tough situation, if you come out straight away and say, no, I'm going to take it on my shoulders now, I'll do it.
But these are the guys who need to take responsibility. Kevin Farewell, who paid ridiculous money for a striker in Chamiti from his old club Everton, who literally had never scored a goal to that point. The recruitment has been absolutely appalling.
Absolutely.
The way they handled the managerial search in the summer was a saga. It was a similar situation when they fired Russell Martin. A club like Rangers should not be in a situation where the under-19 coach is taking charge of a league game. They have been an embarrassment, Patrick Stewart and Kevin Farewell. And I understand why Rangers fans want them out of the football club.
Yeah, 100%. I was going to just say, like, to that, though, for raising standards, I think most managers or definitely coaches and 100% fitness coaches, when they come in, they always go, we've got to get fitter, we've got to get stronger. But it's a constant theme I'm hearing now around Rangers is raising the standards. So the standards must be pretty low in and around that building at this moment in time. So I want to know now, again, I want to know the people who are asking these questions. When you talk about raising the standards, what are you talking about? Are you talking about people's tardiness, people's effort? What are you, tactical awareness? What is it? Because you keep doing these generic statements now. Fans deserve to know what it is you're talking about. And give us something to go, okay, as we're moving forward, that's what we can do. And for as much as, we're not going to talk about Amrin anymore, but that's why I like him, because he tells you what the problem is. So then you can go, okay, over a course of time, have you fixed that?
Well, I think he'll do that, but he's only been there for a couple of days and he's trying to get his feet under the table.
Yeah, that's just more of a generic thing anyway, but not necessarily at Danny.
I just wonder who's running the football club, because when Danny Rowe was appointed as manager, there were 4 people who put their names to the statement. The chairman, the vice chairman, I think it was the chief executive and the sporting director. When have you ever seen a manager hired and 4 people feel the need to comment on it?
Is that not the suggestion that everyone's together and we're all behind this?
I think it's actually the opposite. I think
it's a power struggle?
I think it's a power struggle, but I also think it's one where they've tried to come up with a good idea because they've missed out on all of the people that they wanted. Because Danny Rowe wasn't their first choice, and that's fine. He won't mind because he got there.
But how can you sack a manager and not have somebody lined up? We all knew that Russell Martin was going to get the chop.
Yes, but they
must have known that.
But they wanted Stevie G. They flirted with that again.
But get him lined up before you fire the manager.
I know, but they flirted with your mate Kev as well, didn't they? As well, Kevin Muscat.
He turned them down.
He turned them down in the end, and then you go to Danny Rowe. So it's just one of those things for me where you have to. They kind of had to do this united front, but I think there's an ego thing at play here where all 4 have to put their names to it. The best clubs all run when you don't really hear about the back room. You don't really hear about it. And unfortunately, we're hearing a lot about these.
Okay, so what do the Rangers think about the current situation? Are you happy with the way that Danny Rowe has approached the first few days in charge? Russell Martin paid for his mistakes by losing his job. Should Patrick Stewart and Kevin Thirlwell be more accountable as well? 03717 2233 44. You can text us 81089. You can get in touch with us on socials as well. We'd love to hear from you, Rangers fans. We want to know what you want to say. Tav's comments are just hot air, more after the fact. Roll will have to learn exactly what this team is all about last night. Setup was no different to last weekend. Thelwell is guilty. Roll is not the problem. Morning, Sam, Alex and Troy. This is Kenny from Ayr, very disgruntled Rangers fan. And this is a bit of a rant, he says, so stick with us. Last night summed absolutely everything up for me. Thirlwell and Stewart need to go. I've watched Rangers all my life. I've never seen such a gutless, spineless set of players avoiding responsibility, blaming each other. The transfers have been shambolic. Young loanees, others who simply do not know what Rangers means, what the badge means, and simply don't care. The least you expect is effort. I didn't see any of that. They are a disgrace to the shirt and the fans. This isn't at Roll's door. Thelwell and Stewart must go and go now. I hope you read this out, boys. Thank you very much, Kenny from Ayr. Keep them coming. 81089 on the text. 03717 22 3344. Lots of calls already coming in on that. Get yours in because you could be next. This is Troy Deeney, Sam Matterface and Alex Crook. We're with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com. It's Friday morning in the circus, and it's talkSPORT with Sam Matterface, Alex Crook, and Troy Deeney. Crookie's
The Goonies. That was a good film, wasn't it?
That was 1985, I think.
Never seen it.
What's your reference point?
Just breaking stuff up now.
Goonies is a classic. It's an all-time classic.
Yeah. You know me,
I
I don't watch films, do I?
You haven't got the concentration level to sit through one, have you?
No.
I'm surprised you can get through a football match, to be honest with you.
You sit and watch horses all day.
Yeah, but he's always texting halfway through.
Oh,
Or he's
okay.
on the
Horse race
phone,
lasts about
or he's-
2.5 minutes as well.
Yeah, you can deal with that.
Then you can have a pint.
Let's we get to the calls and the text. Let's speak to Luke, who's a Rangers fan. We're talking about Rangers last night, losers to SK Brand, bottom of the Europa League, really struggling on and off the field. Hi, Luke.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Yes, we're good. Thank you very much. What do you want to say?
I just want to talk about, as you said, bottom of the Europa League group. You're looking at that table, and Rangers being there is just unthinkable, unimaginable, and just fairly unacceptable. They can't clear a ball. They aren't tracking runners. They're failing to take first touches. Like Asgard's been one of our better players the last couple of games, but still not good enough. He's failing to take a touch and get a shot away in the box. It's just the standards are on the floor now. It's just not good enough.
So what do you put it down to? And who do you blame for the whole sort of shebang?
I mean,
because this has been going on for a while now.
Yeah, no, it has been going on for a while. I think there's no connection between the fans, players, and board members, and now the sporting directors. I feel like it's just a club full of individuals at the moment, and they've got to find, hopefully, this Danny Rowe German coaching philosophy. Hopefully, there's a way he can bring this together, because, as I said, it's hard to put your finger on. There's a million things wrong with the club at the moment.
Yeah, look, you know, you talk about there, like not tracking runners and that. Obviously, you've watched more games than me. Was that always happening under Russell Martin? Because when I hear that, I think must have had a poor pre-season if you can't track people. So was that happening under Russell Martin as well?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like under Russell Martin, though, there was no improvement. See, if you're like a manager coming in, you want to see a Danny Rowe. No one's expecting miracles, but we need to see an improvement.
Yeah.
This guy, a clear improvement. Even I could go in there now, and all you need to do is you track your runners, you put in 100% effort. And as you said, if you need to make a game scrappy, we don't care. You win. As Walter Smith passed on to Art McLeish, all you need to do at Rangers is win. It doesn't matter how you do it. Don't care if it's 1-0 or 10-0. You need to win games of football, and we are not doing that at the moment.
And that is certainly a problem, and I think that was something that Danny Rowe was referencing in his interview after the game. Morning, guys. Stewart and Thel will need to go now, says Ross, the Rangers fan. They're wholly liable for the shambles that our great club is in. Thelwell's recruitment has been embarrassing. Get them gone and get Davey Weir in now. Make Rangers great again. Keep your calls coming. Thanks, Luke. 03717223344. No Rangers fan was blaming the manager last night at the game or in the airport. I was there. Yeah, we didn't say that they were. We know that the object of their ire is Stewart and Thelwell and the board themselves. The players hid in the airport as they've done on the park for years, says this texter. Credit to Danny Rowe for coming over to us and speaking to us at the airport. He acted like a man, unlike the cowards littering our team. Stewart and Thirlwell have made the age-old mistake of thinking the English Championship jobbers will waltz into Scotland, and we've seen countless times that they've neither the skill or, more importantly, the heath to play for the club of Rangers, who are of a size and a stature. This is on the 49ers. All goodwill to them is slowly but surely being eroded. 0371722W344. Do you understand that with the recruitment policy?
Absolutely. I think there's a little bit of ignorance there is what he's trying to allude to, isn't it? That apparently you can just come from a championship team and you'll be okay at Rangers. People don't understand the size and magnitude of Rangers and Celtic. I think we downplay it a little bit, but it's a monster of a club. It's an absolute monster of a club. And as some of the messages have already alluded to, it's people's lives.
I've got 3 messages here that all say the same thing, basically saying that Thelwell's recruitment isn't good enough, and everyone pointing to one transfer and one transfer alone. This is Yusuf Chamiti. Why did he think that Yusuf Chamiti, who hadn't scored a goal when he was at Rangers after he brought him in there, would score a goal in Scotland?
It's a ridiculous transfer. You know, I remember on transfer deadline day getting confirmation of the fee and thought, well, what are they saying that I'm not?
What was the fee?
8 million, I think. Maybe as much as rising to 10 with add-ons, and he's just not an £8 million player.
But when you look
very
at
bizarre.
When you look at the team, though, again, like who are you pinning your hopes on? Who's the young star? If you're spending 8, 9, 10 million pounds on play, that person needs to be the person who, let's say it's a midfielder. He's going to be the person who drives the standards for the next 5 to 10 years. Who is that?
Yeah.
Who is that? And if you're not going to do it with players that you're bringing in, you have to come through the youth system. You have to bring players that get it and feel it, and the fans can go, oh, that's one of ours. And I just think they just keep missing this thing where they just go, right, let's throw money at it and hope it works. You have to have better recruitment. You have to.
We got 2 Grahams on the line. Who are you pinning your hopes on? Graham 1. Hello?
Hi.
Hello? What do you want to say, Graham? Who are you pinning your hopes on at Rangers?
Well, poor old Danny Rose walked into an absolute fire. None of this that's gone on for the last 6 months has anything to do with him. Fair play for taking the job. I actually don't think he wanted the job in the first place, but he's unemployed, so why not have a go, roll the dice and see what happens? For me, the blame starts right at the top of the food chain with the 49ers. I live in Leeds. I've got a season ticket at Ibrox. I don't go up all the time because I can't for work. However, all my mates follow Leeds, and how they've run Leeds, granted the financial state of the Premier League and the Championship is different to Scotland, night and day. However, I thought when they came in, we were going to be run on some kind of business structure like Leeds have been run before they've been promoted. That has not happened. They've not come out and really given a business statement on how we are going to become successful. We cannot compete probably with the top 6 Championship sides or no team in the Premier League. That's a given because of where we play. However, they bought us for a reason, but they've never come out and said what the reason is. Is it to get youngsters, sell them on, and make a load of money? If that's the case, fine, I can live with that. If it's to become competitive every year against Celtic and Hearts now, fine, I can live with that. If it's to become competitive in Europe and get to the last 16 of competitions, if that's their outlook, I can live with that. But this is total silence. And from the 49ers to the managers, every gap of management within our structure is run by complete muppets. And that's where we stand. And that's why we're so angry. And fair play to Ali McCoy this morning coming on and fronting up with Big Al, because Big Al has all on mentioning the word Rangers, and even he's feeling sorry for us. So how does that look?
Yeah.
And that's where we are. We need clarification from the top of the food chain. What is the plan for our club and what kind of timescale is it? And I can live with everything else.
Okay.
Just be clear, just be honest. And we've had nothing but smoke screens.
Okay, so answer me this. Who is in control of the club? Because we mentioned about the 4 names that were attached to the statement when Danny Rowe was announced as the new manager. Perag Marath is widely thought of as a smart businessman. He's worked for the 49ers for a very long time. He's the chairman of Leeds United, but he's the vice chairman of Rangers. How does he split his duties? Is he being spread too thinly? Is there someone who is actually completely committed to the day-to-day running of Rangers Football Club? Or is this sort of split of talent that they've got at the top level of the boardroom being spread too thinly over 2 football clubs?
We'll never know, because currently nobody will give you that answer. And that, again, is another question to the vast amount of questions all the loyal fans of Rangers have got. And that's where we are, I'm afraid. And I've been on with Jim for the last couple of weeks. He was defending our previous manager, and I said at the time he was delusional. He didn't like it, but I'm back on again. I so wish Jim was on today, because at least I could have said and felt happier to say, I told you so. I can't even do that because Jim's not on today.
Well, you can ring him on Monday. He'll be back on Monday.
I might just do that, sir.
You should do it. You should do it, Graham. Thank you very much. Let's go to the other Graham. Hello.
Hi, guys. Great show as always. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. What do you want to say?
Yeah, so I'd actually called up before and spoke to Simon Jordan at the time, just before the takeover happens. And at the time, I was so, you didn't know what was happening from day to day. Rangers fans were in turmoil. And when the takeover happens, they're absolutely delighted. There's going to be a bit of investment. So just very similar, the 2 callers before have kind of taken all my points, exactly what I wanted to say at the same time. But can I just say, as a Rangers fan, I'm totally and utterly embarrassed. I've got a dad who's a season ticket holder, and he actually doesn't want to go to the games anymore because of the hassle of getting in. The place is toxic, and from start to finish, it's been a shambles ever since the takeover happened. So many poor decisions, from recruitment to even manager selection. So I think regardless of who you bring in as a manager right now, you could bring in, we talk about Danny roll, you could bring in a sausage roll, nothing happens. Nothing happens. That team are not good enough, and we need a major revamp to get back to where they should be.
Graham, thank you very much. I think one of the things that he did really well last night is he sort of, I think he wore a suit, he wore the brown shoes. It's the tradition of Rangers. And they're little things, but they go a long way. And all the messages that are coming in are very positive about Danny Roll going in there, because at least he looks as if he's making an effort to try and connect with the supporters, connect with the traditions.
Well, he's also got history in terms of a fan base disenchanted with their ownership group, with what happened at Sheffield Wednesday, albeit obviously that was a very extreme circumstance, but he carried himself well. That was an easy win with the supporters because it was something that was aimed at Russell Martin, that he didn't follow that tradition by wearing a suit. He spoke very well at his first press conference. Very few managers give bad first press conferences, but I think he's a good figurehead at a time when Rangers need a little bit of leadership because it's badly lacking in the boardroom.
Danny Roll not to blame for last night. Poison chalice. Rangers have become rotten to the core, i.e. the boardroom. Need to expel Alan, a Rangers fan in East Kilbride. So many messages. Stu Scott, he's a Hearts fan. He says there's nothing better than witnessing both the Glasgow team fall to bits. It's only October and they're already out of the title race. Sunday's game against Celtic is massive for us. It is, because they're 5 points clear at the top of the table already, and they could extend that this Sunday. We'll keep you updated with it on Game Day Live. It kicks off at 12 o'clock. Celtic going to Tynecastle. A win would see Hearts go 8 points clear, he said, which is unheard of in Scotland. Is this Leicester 2.0 in Scotland? It's a great opportunity for Hearts, that is for sure. I've been a Rangers season ticket holder for 30 years. This is easily the worst I've ever seen. Thelwell has downgraded every single outfield position with low-level English League players who are happy to go through the motions. He spent £8 to £10 million on a striker from Everton that hasn't scored in 2 years. Stewart and Thelwell should be removed immediately, completely out of their depth. Great show, guys. Ross in East Lothian. 03717 22 33 44 is the number to call. Loads still to come on the programme this morning, including some even better 90s and 80s movies references. This is talkSPORT.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Score a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines, it's just coming up to 2 minutes past 11. I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. Alexander Isak is a maybe for Liverpool's game at Brentford tomorrow. His groin problem isn't as bad as first feared after an injury in Frankfurt. Arne Slot also gave an update on Frimpong.
Jeremy is not in a good place. What I mean with that is that he's definitely not going to play today, tomorrow, or next week. Hamstring injury, so that's going to take a while.
Alisson Becker is still not in the squad. Brentford versus Liverpool is live on talkSPORT tomorrow evening. Meanwhile, Johan Visser could be back for Brentford in 2 weeks' time. Sandro Tonali is touch and go for Newcastle's game. That's at home to Fulham tomorrow. Now, we're told Sheffield Wednesday is set to be placed into administration today. They owe £1 million in unpaid taxes. Steve Bruce has told us what it's like working under owner Jayfon Chansiri.
I was only there 3-4 months, but it was certainly eventful. I think everybody who's worked under him or played under him will say exactly the same thing, you know. But the one thing it is, it's a wonderful football club.
The team is already bottom of the Championship. A 12-point penalty would take them to -6. Rafa Benitez is back in management. He's taken over at Panathinaikos. Marcus Rashford's making it clear he wants to stay at Barcelona, saying after 23 years at Old Trafford, you just need a change. And a huge NBA betting scandal could get even bigger, according to our US writer Brian T. Smith.
According to the FBI, according to the United States government, it's also tied to crime families. This is absolutely massive if this is true.
The top coach and NBA player among dozens arrested as part of an investigation into illegal betting and rigged card games.
talkSPORT News.
A watchdog says police forces have made progress in tackling grooming gangs, but significant challenges remain. And an inquest heard paedophile singer Ian Watkins died after being stabbed in the neck at Wakefield Prison. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, your go-to destination for quality tyres from great brands like Continental. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
In the northeast, showers and sunny spells. Those showers sometimes heavy and thundery, particularly in the southwest, windy and feeling cold.
Hello, very good morning to you. Sam Matterface with Alex Crook and Troy Deeney. We're here through till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Crook, he's an elegant guy, right? Okay, I don't know if you ever see him at racing or if you ever follow our social media. You can tell that he's a snappy dresser, a very well-groomed individual sometimes.
A few people saw me in Pop World last weekend.
Yes, you were.
Thank you for all those who came up and said hello.
You were in Pop World in Manchester on Friday night, weren't you, as part of a stag do? And it was so good, you decided you would go back again Saturday night as well, because you're that kind of guy. You just keep going.
They played my favourite song both nights.
You're like a homing pigeon, you are, aren't you?
Absolutely.
And what is your favourite song, just so everybody knows?
Well, just play Mr. and Mrs. You say it.
Your favourite song of all time?
Go on.
S Club 7, Reach for the Stars.
There you go. What?
That is his favourite song
My
of all
guilty
time.
pleasure.
It's not his guilty pleasure. It's his favourite song of all time.
Oh, mate. Anyway, please carry on.
Let's turn our attention to our Saturday night belter. It's Brentford against Liverpool live on talkSPORT from 8 o'clock tomorrow.
How is that your favourite song? Of all the songs, sorry, I know we're a football show, but how?
Just gets you going. It's nice and upbeat. It's positive. It's good messaging.
Honestly, you're a donut. Sorry. Please, Sam.
Our Saturday night banger is Brentford against Liverpool live on talkSPORT from 8 o'clock.
Keith Andrews reaching for the stars.
Salah dropped by half slot for the Champions League match in the midweek, and Kane came on with 16 minutes to go with the side already 5-1 up. He then came in for some criticism for Liverpool fans who felt he was selfish choosing to shoot when he could have squared for Florian Wirtz for his first goal for the club. It's quite a sharp turn of events for Mo Salah. On our podcast yesterday, Premier League All Access, which previews the whole of the weekend's action, Alex Crook said that he had endured a fall from grace. From last season's will he or won't he contract saga to this season's will he or won't he start in the team, it is a bit of a change around, isn't it, in sentiment?
Yeah, listen, it's only one game.
You were the one who said it was a fall from grace.
No, it's only one game that he's been on the bench, but his poor form goes back a little bit further than just this season. He didn't end last season in particular stellar fashion either, but I do find it bizarre that his reaction seemingly to being left out for one game is to delete all reference of Liverpool on his social media. Petulant from Mo Salah?
It's the new age of letting everybody know that he's not happy, isn't it? Delete all the pictures and yeah, I don't get it personally. I don't get it. I think he's phenomenal. I've done a piece about it in the Sun for tomorrow, but he's 2 goals away from 250 goals for Liverpool. He's an absolute legend of the club.
He's their best ever Premier League player.
Why would you do this? Like I noticed this with Wilf Zaha after his spat with Mateta. He took all his Palace stuff off of his Instagram or something, and then this happens last night, and I was like, "Is this real?"
Do you know why? Because we're talking about it.
Yeah,
that's why. That's what it does. It garners attention. It makes people feel.
Do you think he does it, or somebody around him does it?
Well, either way,
it's not good. It's always Mo Salah's reputation at the end of the day, isn't it? So It's not good whether the PR do it or someone around him does it or he does it. It's not good either way. But my point is this: he gets a little bit of he gets even more credit in the bank for how good he was last year. Right, he was fantastic last year and performed and overperformed what everyone thought he was probably going to do, probably what he thought he was going to do for the season, where he was closing on Thierry Henry's record. This season, he's missed a lot of big chances. He's also not played very, very well. So then when you now get dropped, what do you think that you're better than everybody else that you shouldn't get dropped? And I think that's more of the problem. And I think that's more problematic with Liverpool. When you hear Virgil van Dijk talking about a players-only meeting after this early in the season, now, it's chicken and the egg, isn't it? Because when is a good time to do it? Hopefully never. But they try and nip it in the bud. And then you talk about, we've just won a massive performance against Frankfurt, which obviously I did on Wednesday. You then coming out saying we've had a players-only meeting and it's great. Oh, by the way, now Salah's now deleted his stuff and he's not happy. How does that build anything?
Is there an accountability issue here as well? Because does Mo Salah look in the mirror and think genuinely that he's been the best version of himself since the start of the season? Surely he will know that he's not hit his high standards. But has he got any right to knock on Arne Slot's door after a 5-1 win and say, you were out of order to drop me?
No,
he hasn't.
But I don't think Arne Slot would have said to him, you've been dropped. I think he would have said, I want to rest you because we go again on Saturday. You're a little bit older now. That type of stuff. I think also when he came on, this is the bit that people don't talk about with Mo Salah. When he scores, we talk about how great he is and how brilliant he is. When he doesn't score, we don't talk about the fact he had 2 chances when he came on. One, he should have just squared it to Florian Wirtz. He scores. Second one, he puts wide. So no one talks about that. Like, you're not in a good moment, and that's fine. And as a player, you want to keep playing to get yourself into rhythm. But a manager with this much attacking impetus will turn around and go, no, I'm going to put somebody else in.
Do you think this malaise started at the end of last season, though, really? Because he got 30 goals in his first 40 games of last campaign. He actually went on a brilliant run of 9 in 8 just before he went through a dip, which was, at the end of the season, 14 games for Liverpool, 4 goals. He started this season with only 3 goals for Liverpool. And it hasn't, and even then, he's been scoring goals in performances that weren't particularly good.
So what's that, sort of 7 goals in 22 games?
Yeah.
Which is not a bad record for mere mortals, but by Mo Salah's standards.
And I was just going to say, his record will always be good because he hits such high numbers. I think you give him a grace and go, right, let's say half of it he went down to half. He was just normal. But I just think, the goals he scored this season, the Bournemouth game when he scored, he was terrible. He was terrible, but he scores. So you give him, okay, that's what Mo Salah does. Fair play, you score, carry on. But when you're not playing well, you are allowed to say you're just not performing well. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and scores a hat-trick this weekend.
Okay, let's ask Arne Slot, because he has been speaking this morning at the Kirkby training ground in Liverpool, and he was asked whether or not Mo Salah is still a guaranteed starter for Liverpool.
Not only about the new signings and that changes things. I think it's about having a lot of very good players. So what is your best lineup? I think a lot of things go into that. The team you face, the tactics the other team plays with, the form of the player, the connections between the players. I think if you look at all the big clubs in the world, they all have more than 11 players that can play a game. And for me, it has always been something I expected after the many changes we've had during the summer, that it could go also, even after we won 7 games in a row. I always felt like, as a team you need to grow, but it's always normal if you have a lot of changes that things go well, but we have to find a way of growing together, and then when things click, we need to be the best team we can be.
Only 5 points off the top, but he was asked the question, is Mo Salah a guaranteed starter? That was his answer, and it was a long way about saying no.
Yeah, but he's got to say that, and he's right. No player should be guaranteed a place in the team just on what they've done before. You're only as good as your last performance, and Mo Salah's last performances haven't been good enough by his standards.
Yeah. Disagree with you a little bit on that. I think he gets credit because of the amount of goals he scored and the fact he drags them out. It's a bit like Bruno Fernandes at Man United. If he's going through a bad spell, he's still going to play because he is the one who'll get you the goal or the assist. I think what Salah's now coming into is that age when you're 33 years old, people start to throw the age number at you and question it. It was with him last year. That's why they didn't want to give him the 3-year deal that he wanted. And they argued about the 2, didn't they? But I also think when you are the top dog, you come under more pressure. Get used to it because you've been doing it for years. So when you've been great, you take all the adulation, all the applause, everything that comes of it. But when you're not, you're going to get stick. That's it. That's part of the game.
2 away from 250 goals for Liverpool. Was 248 in 413. He hasn't scored from open play in his last 7 Premier League games since the opening day win against Bournemouth.
One final point I wanted to ask Troy on this. Is there any accusation that he's got his feet up having signed that new contract? The reason that he was so good last season was because he was playing for that mega money deal.
No, because again, he's made mega money. I think there's just it's about motivation, right? I genuinely believe this stuff here can be his new why. Why he's going to prove you all wrong. I think last year he had that. They think you're old. They think you're not good enough. They don't want to give you that. So you get a 5-10%. Also, he started the season great and it just snowballs. I think now he signed it. You could probably take off 2, 3, 4, 5% because he has come down a bit. But now this is his new why. And now I'm going to show you why I'm still Mo Salah. And I hope he does. I do wish him all the best.
I wonder whether or not Arne Slot this morning spoke about Isak being fit or not. He was taken off at half-time. We haven't heard that yet.
It was a precaution, didn't he?
He said he had to be a little bit careful. He said when you're playing Premier League football, when you're playing football, he said you usually train for 1 game a week. When you play for Liverpool, you have to play every 3 days. This is the first time we played him in 2 games in a week. He says it's not too bad, but he is a doubt for tomorrow. That was the words of Arne Slot in the last couple of moments.
When they were winning week in, week out last season, he never mentioned the fact they were playing 3 times a week. Strange.
No one ever does. I just think for Isak, and this is just
digging out Arne Slot now.
Just putting it out there.
He digs out everybody except Man United. But what I do think is it just shows the importance of a pre-season. Because when the guys who are missing out on pre-season are all breaking down, and they just continuously break down. Pre-season is so important to get that foundational level of working. And for Isak, unfortunately, due to this being the way it is, he's going to have to kind of manage this season now.
Yeah, okay. Let's turn our attention to Brentford just a little bit because they've picked up 7 points from 4 games. They beat Villa and Manchester United, and they've drawn with Chelsea. Home games are going to be key for them, and it is a difficult place to go. As much as you know, it's still Liverpool-Brentford. The fact is, Brentford make it difficult for any opponents.
Yeah, you know, long throws are coming in, all into your box, rain it into your box, make you have to defend. Set pieces are obviously an issue, but one thing that they're not getting credit for is how Keith has got them fully set up. Keith Andrews got them fully set up, ready to attack from a defensive position. But when they go with pace and power. Sade, Thiago, they're very, very quick. And I think
amongst those with the most high fast breaks in the Premier League.
And I'm not surprised you know that. But more importantly, for the rest of us who just watch football and don't read stats, I think
as well as watch
football. Sorry,
I've only been to 6 games in the last 7 days.
Okay,
don't worry about it.
relax.
And he's not been paid a penny for being there.
All of goodwill. No, but I do think Brentford have been great. I do think, though, this is a game that suits Liverpool. It really does, because they've got the big boys, obviously, in Van Dijk and Konate. They can physically deal with the long throw-ins. Keeper's big boy as well. But I think on the break, they can really cause Brentford some problems.
What's your view on Keith Andrews now? Flip-flopper?
No, listen, all I pointed out at the time was it was an unnecessary risk, in my opinion. They could have gone for a more experienced
man. You was a bit stronger than that. You was a little bit stronger than that.
However, you've got to be impressed with what they've done. I thought they were brilliant. As bad as West Ham were on Monday night.
100%.
Brentford don't get the credit they deserve for their performance. Only Manchester City have won at the G-Tech, and that was quite a hard-fought victory in the end. So, yeah, he's doing well.
He's doing well.
And he's a good guy. He's a good
guy. Do you know why he's a good guy?
Go ahead.
Because the other day, when Crookie went there, do you know what he said? Hello, Crookie. And once he called him by his little nickname, he was like putty in his hand.
You're a cheap date, aren't you? You are such a cheap date.
So
it goes back
Pop World, S Club 7, and call him Crookie. He's yours.
He's yours. Anyone's.
It goes back further than that. I took my lad to the Bournemouth-Brentford game in the League Cup because he's interested in a career in the media. He wanted to see how it all worked. Keith Andrews came into the sort of little broom cupboard to do his interviews. He shook my lad's hand before and after the interview. I thought that was class.
Yeah.
Well, he's a good man. That's why.
And he's doing well. Good luck to him.
Even though you slagged him off over the summer.
Yeah,
anyway,
also.
03717223344 is the number to call. We told you it'd be okay. Let's find out if he is tomorrow. They take on Liverpool, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. It's live on talkSPORT. Not the only game we got for you on talkSPORT tonight. We're going to Leeds this evening for the game against West Ham. That is an absolute humdinger of a game and massive at the bottom of the table. We'll talk about that as well before 1 o'clock. Breaking news in the last few minutes, Sheffield Wednesday have filed for administration. A great club with a storied history, but they have filed for administration. Court documents have been seen now. An administrator has been appointed, and Sheffield Wednesday will be deducted 12 points by the EFL as a matter of course. It means almost inevitably that they will end up being relegated to League One as a result. Their position in the table not great as it is. It means that they have only got 6 points already, so they'll start with minus 6 points after that deduction has been applied. But they are filing for administration. And Crook, we've talked about the possibility of this happening. It now has happened. What are the next steps?
Well, the next steps obviously are to appoint an administrator. Our understanding is that's going to be Begbie's trainer, who I think were the administrators when Wigan had a similar situation. So they've got a bit of history when it comes to taking football clubs out of administration. I know that Sheffield Wednesday fans have been in talks with the Football Supporters Association about potentially putting together a trust to maybe buy the club out of administration. We saw that happen down at Portsmouth when the fans rescued them. I know you're of a different opinion because the 12-point deduction inevitably means they're going to end up in League One. I think they were heading that way anyway. But I do think this could be short-term pain for long-term gain, forcing the hand of Delphon Chansiri. What kind of an egomaniac, by the way, do you have to be to have your own name emblazoned on the stand at Hillsborough when you look at what damage that guy has done to the football club? But the only way forward is to get a new owner, and I think this is the first step on the road to that, and hopefully for one of England's grand old clubs, the first step on the road to recovery.
This is I mean, you say that I'm of a different opinion. My opinion is I would try to avoid going into League One at all costs because I don't think it's easy to come back. You talk about short-term pain. It's a lot of pain for those Sheffield Wednesday fans to go through, no matter the situation. But the premise of getting rid of Delphon Chansiri has to be the main priority now, because he has dragged this club into the mud, and somebody else is going to have to come along and get him out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, it's a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, is it, that although they've gone into administration, this now forces the hand of it trying to be bought and takes away the powers as well, doesn't it, when you go to administration? So, unfortunately for Sheffield Wednesday fans, they're going to have to be patient and get through this, but at least there's a step now. There's one more step up the garden path where you know where you're going. The players and the manager have handled it fantastically, and hopefully the fans now can, you know, start to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
A lot of good young players in that squad as well. I was there the night that they knocked Leeds out of the EFL Cup earlier in the season. They played quite a youthful team that night, and there was a couple of young players, especially in the centre-half position, that have done very, very well and established themselves. Have got the chance maybe to establish themselves going forward.
The problem is, though, some now get picked off.
Well,
won't they?
One or two might have to go. They might have to sell a few assets now in order to balance the books, but it's all about what happens in the future for Sheffield Wednesday, and that there is a future, because the last thing you want is them to face a winding up order. What you want is someone to come across now and take over this club pretty quickly.
And they will. I mean, I was listening to Simon Jordan yesterday, and he was saying it's going to take a lot of hard work, but actually it wouldn't take that much to get Sheffield Wednesday back to being a really competitive football club. Again, they've got a brilliant fan base. They've got a fantastic history. Obviously, the stadium needs a little bit of work, and they're going to need to invest in the squad, whoever comes in. But I don't fear for the long-term future of Sheffield Wednesday. As I say, I think this is the first ray of light the fans have had for a long time now. And credit to the fans, actually. They staged a boycott in midweek. Quite often these boycotts don't really get off the ground, but the sways of empty seats at Hillsborough really got the message home to Chansiri.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've done a great job over the course of the last 6 months or so in particular, where they've coordinated their protests. They've targeted those League Cup games and obviously now recently others as well. But they've really made sure that it went up the agenda and people were talking about it as well. So look, we'll get reaction to that in the next few minutes here on talkSPORT. But the breaking news in the last few minutes is that Sheffield Wednesday have filed for administration. It means a 12-point deduction as mandatory in the EFL. That means that as it stands, they'll be on -6 points and stranded at the bottom of the table, 13 points behind second bottom Blackburn Rovers. 03717 22 33 44. If you want to react to that, you can text us 81089. That number at the front, by the way, the 03717 22 33 44 number, available for you to call, to WhatsApp or to voice note us. This is talkSPORT. Sam Matterface, Troy Deeney and Alex Crook, and we're here till 1 with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Morgan Gibbs White feels like he can finally breathe as Forest won for the first time in over 2 months. Porto were beaten 2-0 at the City Ground, and Sean Dyche has been thanking his players.
To accept what we offered them, and we've crammed a lot in, we've asked a lot of them, and to accept it and come here open-minded and still deliver is very, very pleasing.
Elsewhere in the Europa League, do Villa have a penalty problem? Emi Buendia blazed one over in their loss to go-ahead Eagles. Villa have now failed from the spot 6 times over the last year. North of the border, Celtic bounced back with a 2-1 win over Sturm Graz. Brendan Rodgers had compared his team to a Honda Civic after they lost to Dundee on Sunday.
At the weekend, it's not good enough. So tonight we weren't quite the Ferrari, but we're Range Rover Sport. I'll go for.
Meanwhile, Danny Röhl says he doesn't have much time to turn Rangers around following their 3-0 loss to Norwegian side Brann. In the Conference League, Dean Henderson has called out his Palace teammates for a lack of intensity during their defeat to AEK Larnaca. Jamie O'Hara doesn't think keepers should be criticising the rest of the team.
You don't see players coming out after the game saying, yeah, not good enough in goal, can't come for a cross, conceding too many, not good enough. You never see a player do that, never.
And there's plenty more at talkSPORT.com.
Yeah, it's talkSPORT. A couple of bits for you. During today's media conference, Serena Wiegmann has revealed that Hannah Hampton is out of her homecoming series fixture against Brazil. Small injury means that she's replaced by Sophie Baggerly in the Lionesses squad. Also, it looks as if Lottie Wubben-Moy has withdrawn from the squad after feeling unwell. They take on Brazil and Australia over the next couple of days. In reaction to some of the breaking news that's happened in the last few minutes, you should have seen the reaction to Crook and I's faces when Emma Kerwin revealed that Revs is under threat. We weren't happy about that, Troy.
No, you had a good weekend then.
Yeah, we weren't happy.
We started there Saturday night.
Yeah, that didn't make us happy. But Emma is finishing work after being up, I think, since 3:30. She was very excited after doing her news that she's going to get a pint, a chance to go and let her hair down after a tough day at work. And Crookmeister went, "You're going for a pint at 11:30." Now, out of all of the people in the world to judge someone for having an early pint, I never thought I'd hear that escape his lips.
No, how many drinks did you have before bed last night?
Just a couple of glasses of wine with them.
Were they glasses of wine?
Goblets, they were. Goblets.
Medicinal purposes.
Time now to catch up with the latest odds, all thanks to BetMGM.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Get ready for the golden era of sports betting. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+gambleaware.org.
And we're joined now by Dan Towse from BetMGM to look at today's top sporting events. Oh, I think it's Dan Towse. Dan Towse calling Dan Towse. Are you there?
Good morning, gentlemen.
He's working. There he is. Look at him. Crikey, he's turned up for work on a Friday. Well done. We got Leeds West Ham tonight live on talkSPORT, and I imagine it's tightly priced up, isn't it?
It is, but just before we go to Leeds West Ham, can we just talk about your messages to me in the week?
No.
Let's
just leave that on.
Okay.
We'll come to that a little bit later on. You concentrate on the job at hand. We're in control of this conversation, not you, Dan. Come on.
Right, Leeds West Ham.
We haven't loaded the photograph up yet. Go on, keep going.
You haven't. Right. Leeds West Ham. Right, I hate the term, but it's arguably 6-pointer, isn't it? For the end of October, 16th versus 19th. Leeds only one win in the last 5 games. On the other hand, West Ham winless in their last 5 games, and it's been well documented. This is their worst ever start to a Premier League season. But there is a little bit of light for West Ham, given their 4 points have all come away from home this season, and maybe after Monday's performance, there may be a bit of reaction. They are 4-1, which could be a bit of value, could be a bit of a big price. Home side are the odds-on favourites with a draw at just 3-1. Do you think both sides got enough to stay up?
Ooh,
no, you don't.
I don't. I think West Ham are in serious trouble, and at the moment, the way they're playing, I mean, the way they played on Monday night was absolutely appalling. They've got to. I mean, if they play like that, they've got absolutely no chance.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I thought Leeds at the start of the season wouldn't have enough. They started really, really well, but tonight it's a massive game. I thought there was 4 at the bottom that looked in trouble at the start of the season, and they're all playing out that way with Wolves, West Ham, and Leeds.
It doesn't mean they can't stay up. It just means if they keep going the way they are, they're in big trouble, in my opinion. I mean, I honestly, I've seen 3 West Ham games this season, and I've failed to be impressed at all.
Yeah, there's nothing to get your hopes up about, is there? Not one area of the pitch is performing well. Somerville will be their massive hope. Him and Bowen will be the 2 that they need to try and spark something.
Yeah, agree.
They need players, don't they? They need players in January. I think they need another defender because Max Kilman's form has fallen off a cliff.
They need a number 9.
They need legs in midfield, and certainly they need a striker.
Yeah, Leeds 11-4 to go down. West Ham are odds on at the moment alongside Wolves and Burnley.
Golden Goals, we always try to raise money for charity. Do you want to explain to us what it's all about? We get very close every week. I know we haven't quite hit the mark yet.
We do. So Golden Goals, free-to-play game on the app, no deposit required. Customers going up to £250,000 if they correctly predict 6 scores, but there's other prizes for 3, 4 and 5 correct predictions. For you guys, we give you 1 fixture and all we ask is for 1 correct score. We're yet to get 1 win this season, but we have been knocking on the door. I feel we're getting closer, and I've seen the predictions for this weekend, and I'm a couple I'm quite confident about. But Crookie, no, we're not going to start with Crookie. Sam, we're going to start with you. In terms of chronological order, you got Man United Brighton.
Man United won back-to-back Premier League games for the first time under Ruben Amorim with that victory against Liverpool. They've got to get something out of this Brighton game. Very difficult to do against the Brighton side, unbeaten in the last 5 and have won 3 of the last 4. So I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2, yeah. No idea which Man United will turn up, do we? But they have lost 6 of the last 7 games versus Brighton. But a 2-2 result is 9-1. Crookie, you've got Arsenal versus Palace.
Yeah, I think this is a bit more straightforward because I think Arsenal will keep a clean sheet. Obviously not impressed with Palace against Larnaca last night. Arsenal very good in a 15-minute spell against Atletico in midweek. I'm going to go 2-0 to the Gunners.
2-0 to the Gunners is a 5-1 shot. Arsenal haven't faced a shot on target in either of their last 2 Premier League games. Currently only conceded only 3 goals all season. Which team holds the record, do you know?
Chelsea. No.
Oh, excellent, Troy. Very good. And how many did they concede? If you get this, I'll be amazed. I'll tell you what, if you get
15?
this... Right, do you know what? Let's put 500 quid in the charity pot.
There you go.
There we go.
Magnificent.
First
Troy,
money we've won all season.
Yeah, it is. Well done. Right.
Thanks,
okay,
man.
Troy, we'll come to you for Everton Spurs.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Everton to win. I think Spurs have been obviously playing in Europe. They've been pretty poor of late. With Thomas Frank now, they don't concede a great deal of goals, but I just think that Everton, with Jack Grealish having an extra week off, will have that little bit of zip about them, and I think they'll win 2-1.
Yeah, it's a tough game to call. There's only 3 points between them. Spurs are winless in their last 6 visits to all being at a new stadium, but 2-1 Everton win is 7.5 to 1. So Sam, you've gone for a 2-2 draw. Crookie, you've gone for an Arsenal 2-0 win against Palace. And Troy, you've gone for Everton to win 2-1 against Spurs. 500 to 1 for all 3 of them to come in. But more importantly, let's try and get some more money into the pot that we've now got 500 quid for.
Brilliant. And we won't tell you that the stat was on the final page of our running earlier today. Cheltenham races today and tomorrow.
It actually wasn't. It wasn't.
Today and tomorrow, Cheltenham races. Anything that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, like you said, today and tomorrow, kicking off today at 1:15, leading the market in that race is East India Express, who was actually the favourite for the Martin Pipe back at the festival in March. But he finished 7th that day, but he did follow up with a win at the track in April. Elsewhere in the same race, Hammers fans may be interested in the Gordon Elling trained Bowen's on Fire. He's got 8 to 1 chance. He's been quite active over the summer, so you'd think he may come into this race fairly fit, and maybe double up with West Ham, could come in at 40 to 1. And then just finally looking ahead to tomorrow, Josh Moore, who joined you guys on the show a couple of weeks back when we were at Ascot, he trains Give It To Me OJ, who lines up in the Class 2 race, I think it's +3. He's the 1 to 2 favourite. He's won 5 of his last 6 races, which included a couple on the flat at Epsom in the summer. Skinny in price for tomorrow, but he could be one to keep on side as the season progresses.
Okay, who are you supporting this weekend, Dan?
You've been waiting for this, haven't you?
Brighton or Newcastle? Which one? Which team are you?
Do you want to give your side of the story, or should I give my side of the story?
No, I'll tell you what I saw, and there's no story. I'll just tell you what I saw. You've been texting me all evening when I was at Newcastle on Tuesday night.
All evening. I sent you one text,
and it was 3 or 4.
He does that to me at Spurs. Please come for a
Come
beer.
and see
Please
me,
come for a beer.
yeah. And then at the end of the game, he came and chased me down the stairs, and I turned around and noticed that he was wearing, and if you can watching on YouTube, you can see it. He was wearing that black and white scarf that he's now got around his wrist. Now, the reason he's got it around his wrist because as soon as he saw me get my phone out to take a picture of him wearing the scarf, he whipped it from around. I'm just being a good corporate sponsor.
Shameful.
Well, I just wanted to let you know as well, Dan. I was there. I didn't get a message or an invite. But thanks, mate. Yeah.
Did you not?
Yeah, no problem.
I saw you. I came and see.
Yeah, you did come and see me. I appreciate that. Yeah.
No worries.
Cheers.
So my side of the story, just very quickly, is I saw Sam Gibbs. He posted it on Instagram. He can snore. He noticed it on Instagram. Gave him one message. He said, "I'm right behind you." So at the end of the game, I thought I'll just go and say hello, like good mates do. And anyone who's been to St James's Park, the steps is like the travelator in Gladiator.
What's this got to do with you wearing a Newcastle
You don't feel like
scarf?
you're moving anyway. So I walked up the 20,000 steps just to say hello. He saw the scarf, and I said, "Well, we're partners of Newcastle. I'm supporting them tonight. I think they've been excellent. Fully deserved to get victory against Benfica." All of a sudden, I start getting packed by Matterface, and I tried to walk back down the steps, and he couldn't wait to send me a picture the next day. And I thought this might come up in conversation.
See, that's a different story because this morning you told me you were holding it for someone else. Which one is it? Dan, as the greatest ever Premier League player, Eric Cantona once said, "You can change your wife, you can't change your football team." Okay.
Speak to you next week, gents.
That was a look at the latest odds. All thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Breaking news this morning that Sheffield Wednesday have gone into administration. Lots of fans getting in touch with us. We're going to take your calls and your texts next. 03717 2233 You can text us 81089. You're listening to talkSPORT with Sam Matterface, Troy Deeney and Alex Crook. And we're live with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com. It's talkSPORT. It's Sam Matterface and Alex Crook. Sorry, what were you saying?
Whenever you're ready.
I'm here. What? Sorry, I'm actually in the studio for most of the 3 hours that we are on.
We like to stretch our legs.
I know you like to go outside.
Go and speak to people. We're man of the people.
No, you don't.
Hide away.
There's just a big old box of sweets outside that you like to go and raid every.
We like to go and talk to the public.
Do you? The public? They're your colleagues. You idiot.
People that work in the same buildings or the public.
He hasn't stopped telling this story, by the way. Well, I was in Pop World the other night. You know what happened, don't you? Someone went out to Dean Ashton and said to him, Dean. No, didn't say Dean. He just went, hello, sorry. Is that Alex Crook? To Dean Ashton. Dean Ashton, England International. Dean, I can't believe he told you.
We also played a five-a-side. Guess who scored the first goal from 25 yards? With a hangover, just saying.
Was it really 25 yards?
Felt like 25 yards.
You're on a five-a-side pitch that was 25 yards. Did you take it from a corner at the other end? Interesting.
Dino then scored a tap-in, to be fair, just to restore a bit of pride.
Sheffield Wednesday have filed for administration. Wednesday's owner owe HMRC over £1 million in unpaid taxes. The struggling club, already bottom of the Championship, going to be hit with an automatic 12-point penalty, meaning it's almost certain relegation to League One. This is a really sad and horrible situation. Wednesday fan here getting in touch. Sad day for our club, but weirdly it's actually good news for us because it means we've got the potential to recover. Let's be clear, Chansiri has been poison for us. His spiteful behaviour in the last 2 or 3 years has not just been bad for the football club, the fans, and for the infrastructure of the club. He's damaged lives, and I think that cannot be underestimated because the club staff, some of the players and the knock-on effects of not getting paid, etc., but staff who have been there for years have been put through the mill because of his behaviour. This is one texter, Andy in Rotherham, saying it could have all been sorted a long time ago, but he chose to overvalue and snub excellent possible new owners. Let's hope that a takeover happens quickly and they've got time to build. Ben Mickelson says, administration, best news all year. Fans are the most powerful thing a football club has. Rough times ahead, but a positive step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree, but just on the staff, they're not classed as football creditors. The players are, which means that they'll get paid in full. Any unpaid wages to staff will be 25p in the pound, which doesn't really feel right, does it?
No, it doesn't. Todd is a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Hello.
Hi, boys. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're okay. Sheffield Wednesday going into administration's not great. 12 points deduction is not great. But if it means the end of Delphine Chancerai, it's pain that the club has to take. But it does have knock-on effects, as Crook has been saying. It does mean that there could be possibilities of the staff that haven't got wages not getting everything that they deserve.
I think, look, I mean, your lines will be rammed with it. We've had nowhere to go, and this could be said for lots of football clubs, right? And we've had absolutely no voice apart from you all, and particularly Simon Jordan. Nobody has really been bothered about our situation. That's how it's felt as a supporter. We've had nowhere to go. It comes to something really when there are Wednesdayites messaging you and emailing you and ringing you to say this is actually good news. I mean, in what perverse world would administration of a business of any kind be good news? Obviously, massive thoughts have to go to the staff, particularly the staff, as your colleague just mentioned there, who are probably going to go unpaid. There'll be suppliers who aren't paid, but we've had this has always been the thought of many Wednesdayites, really sadly, that this would be the only way this guy would even entertain. He wouldn't even entertain leaving in any sort of sustainable fashion. So this has been the only way we've been able to go. Massive praise has to go to the Supporters Trust, who I know you've had on the show, but the team there have been absolutely brilliant in showing some form of leadership for us as supporters because, like many, I didn't renew my season ticket. I wanted to stop funding the bloke and find some course of action to drive change because we've honestly felt helpless. And football clubs are a community thing, and he's never, ever liked the fact that his owners are custodians. And they are. These football clubs belong to the hearts of communities, and you've got families not going, and they've gone for 20, 30 years. I mean, me and my family go, but we've not gone all season because we've had to do something drastic to try and force some sort of action. It's been desperate. It's been absolutely desperate, and you can probably hear the emotion in my voice. And And it's like many supporters will be the same. The football club means so much to them, and that routine. And you'll have seen it the other night against Middlesbrough. I mean, it was just an absolute sorry state of affairs. But it's always been coming to this because he doesn't communicate. He doesn't communicate anything. And this could happen to any club at any time. So let's hope that this. I really, really hope that this is a watershed moment for football ownership and the governance, and we've got the new powers in place that are hopefully going to give great regulation to the sport. But it's in some instances too little, too late.
Yeah, well, but this is the issue, isn't it? The regulator has started its business. It's been up and running for a little while now. How has this been allowed to still happen? And was it? I mean, listen, they tell us that they made it an absolute priority as soon as they came in to be able to sort of deal with this situation, but it hasn't been able to stop the club from going into administration. It hasn't been able to stop Delphine Chancerai doing what the hell he likes. The club had already been placed under registration embargoes across 2 seasons and received a 6-point deduction during the 2020-21 campaign for breaching PSR guidelines. So this is not a new situation. Football has allowed this to happen. One of the reasons the regulator came in is to stop it from happening. Yeah. So where do we go next with that?
Well, it depends what powers they have, because on the face of it...
What powers does it have? It's up and running now.
Well, Chancery wasn't an unscrupulous owner when he came in. He passed that fit and proper person.
So they only have the opportunity to analyse people when they're coming into a club.
Agreed. And that's where it falls down for me, because I think at the start of his tenure, obviously his intentions were good. He was putting money into the football club. They've been promoted from League One back to the Championship, but it's very quickly unravelled. Now, my opinion is that as soon as a football club is late paying their wages once, you get a warning, maybe even a points deduction. You do it twice, I think that's when they should have powers to intervene and force the sale of the football club.
Darryl is a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Hello.
Hello. I've been a Wednesday supporter all my life, and I am shocked by what I've heard today. I don't think it's going to benefit Sheffield Wednesday in any way. And my reason for saying that is that Chancery is a very, very clever owner with money. He's bought Hillsborough. He's put it into another business. And all he's going to do for whoever takes over Sheffield Wednesday is just put the rent up and make us look poor again, because no one can take that ground off Chancery. It's in a totally separate company, S6. So, yeah.
That's a real concern, isn't it?
Well, that was the same situation at Reading, was it not? And they found a way around that.
But Chancery's a bit cleverer than that. I just can't. Unless that ground is given back to Sheffield Wednesday as a football club, I can't see Chancery leaving us. I think he'll just hold us to ransom.
Well, that is a real concern, isn't it? And that's something that needs to be looked into, because if that is the case and he still owns the freehold to the land and they've got to pay him rent, or they've got a contract with him that runs out soon and it's going to be renegotiated, then they're in big trouble. The last thing that you want,
Oxford, isn't it, with the Kassam Stadium? They're going to go into a new stadium.
Well, listen, I advocate this only because I know it's worked. That the Chelsea pitch owners situation that emerged during the late 80s, where the supporters have owned the rights to the pitch, and they have a system where Chelsea cannot move without the fans say so. No one can play on that pitch without the say so of the Chelsea pitch owners. It's a brilliant organisation. Go and have a look at it. I think it's a model for other clubs to follow if you possibly can, because what it does is it stops any threat of this happening. Because they own the actual piece of land, the pitch that Chelsea have to play on. Disgusting what's happened at Sheffield Wednesday. Feel for the whole club. The owner has ruined them. They're a massive club with great fans and a lovely stadium. We all know the pain they're going through. Hope the owner sells up quickly and it will get sorted. That's Ryan, a Pompey fan. Thank you very much for your comments, Ryan. And it's a great place to be.
Yeah, I was just going to say, again, you're talking about what the regulator can do. Again, there should be some statute written in there that owners can't sell off assets like stadiums. The stadium has to belong to the football club, because an owner is only ever just passing by. The football club ultimately will always belong to the fans.
Well, that should be another power for the regulator, shouldn't it?
It should, yeah.
03717 22 33 44 if you want to get in touch. 81089 on the text. We want to hear from you. Keep them coming.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With the midday headlines, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. Sheffield Wednesday have filed for administration amid the club's financial problems. They owe £1 million in unpaid taxes. Wednesday are already bottom of the championship. A 12-point deduction would leave them on -6. Alexander Isak's groin injury is not as bad as Arne Slot first thought. Isak's a maybe for Brentford tomorrow.
Alex, not too bad. Question mark for the weekend, and so let's see where he is then. And that's the same to be said about Ryan.
Jeremy Frimpong will be out for at least 2 weeks with a hamstring injury, though, and Alisson is still not in the squad. Brentford v Liverpool is live on talkSPORT tomorrow evening. Now, Yohan Wissa could be fit to play for Newcastle in 2 weeks' time. Meanwhile, Sandro Tonali's touch and go for their home game to Fulham tomorrow. It was revealed this week that Tonali agreed a contract extension during his betting ban. Eddie Howe says Tonali came out the other side stronger.
I think most importantly it was how he conducted himself in that ban, and I thought he was brilliant, and that's of course led to his brilliant performances since he's come back.
Elsewhere today, Enzo Maresca has confirmed Liam Delap could return for Chelsea next week. And a huge NBA betting scandal could get even bigger. That's according to our US writer Brian T. Smith.
We have no idea where this is going to go, but these hints that this is just the tip of the iceberg, it has to have the NBA in total fear right now.
A top coach and NBA player are among dozens arrested as part of an investigation into illegal betting and rigged card games. Get more on that at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
A watchdog claims there are still significant challenges in how police tackle grooming gangs, and an inquest heard paedophile singer Ian Watkins died after being stabbed in the neck at Wakefield Prison. More with Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With a huge range of premium brands available, we've got what you need to drive away happy every time. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Cloudy in the northwest with heavy rain, which will be persistent at times. Elsewhere, a mix of sunny spells and scattered showers. Feeling chilly.
Hello, it's talkSPORT. It's Sam Matterface and Alex Crook with Troy Deeney. We're here for another hour here on Fun Boy Friday, and it is hurtling along because we've got lots of live football coming up over the course of the next day or so. What?
Have you left me your half-eaten sweet?
Why? Just stop giving away secrets. God's sakes. Why can't you just behave for 2 minutes? Crikey. It's like being a nursery on a Friday with, well, him, really. Actually, Troy's very well behaved.
Sorry, Commander.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Commodore.
Yes, sir.
Stop it. All these things that you bring out, people don't know what you're talking about. You're just having a go.
He's trying to get himself an honorary membership with the RAF at the moment. That's his latest.
I remember last week he couldn't sail the ship, could he?
No, he could not. He was all over the ship.
Well, there's nothing to do with the RAF, is it? That's
okay.
Navy, you idiot.
Anyway.
Right, let's try and take off and move into...
I guess you have to be if you're going to be commander.
Yeah.
Commodore.
Would you really imagine Sam telling people what to do? Someone who's 5'4" in a suit
Don't
telling
you
you
have to
what
be a
to do.
certain height to be in the RAF. Actually, you'd fit in a Spitfire, wouldn't you?
You wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
Leeds against West Ham is live on talkSPORT tonight. We've got Premier League action for you this evening and tomorrow as well. Since beating Everton on the opening day of the season, Leeds have won just one of their last 8 games. West Ham United have made their worst ever start to a league season. The last time they were this bad in the top flight, they were relegated in 88-89. So what does the season sort of hold in store for them, Troy? I mean, is it a real possibility that both these teams could end up in relegation trouble by the end of the season?
I think, is the short answer. I think, I still think Burnley go down. I know they had a good result the weekend. I think Burnley go down. I think Wolves go down. And then it's out of these two for me.
You think Brentford will be okay?
I think Brentford will be okay, yeah. And I think Sunderland will be more than okay. These two I'm just a little bit concerned of. At the start of the season, I thought it'd be Leeds and West Ham just having enough to stay up, but it seems to be the other way around. Today is a massive game for Leeds.
It's a massive game for Leeds United because it's at home and they've lost away at Burnley. It's a massive period for all of those teams in the bottom part of the table because they're all playing each other over this next few weeks. So last week, this week and next week, there's a lot of inter-relegation matches that are going to be played. And this is one of those, live on talkSPORT tonight. West Ham United picked a very odd team, I thought, for the Monday night game. Would they revert to tried and tested tonight?
Yeah, it was an experiment that went wrong. And obviously made, 3 changes at half-time. That was almost an admission that he got his team selection wrong, but it didn't really change the flow of proceedings. The only surprise was that it took Brentford so long to get their second goal. You'd expect them to start with a striker. I don't know if Crook is fit. If not, Callum Wilson probably will get a chance.
Did you see his talk on Callum Wilson? Did you see what he said, Nuno? Yeah, because there's a lot of talk, similarly to the Harvey Elliott stuff, that basically if they play Callum...
He's on a pay-as-you-play contract.
Yeah, and he's basically said, like... Do you think I'm that type of person? I wouldn't do that. He basically put it down to the fact that he's not the striker that he thought he was.
Well, and he isn't. You know, listen, I've been Callum Wilson's biggest fan for a long time, but he's not... He's lost that yard of pace, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Which
and
he
that
relied upon.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
He said, come on, I don't even know that when he was asked about the possibility.
That's a lie.
He would that's know the terms of the
Well, I'm just telling you what he said. Yeah. You think I'm that kind of person? Do you think that? No, maybe if you knew me better, maybe we don't have to speak about that. It's nothing more than a decision. There's nothing there. The speculation doesn't help. You think I think about all the aspects, what I have to make a decision to help the team? I don't know. I've been here 3 games. There's a future for him. There's a future for everybody. Well, it's all right saying that, but actually, when they needed a goal the other night, they left him on the bench.
Yeah, but also for the profile, if you just look at Nuno's work, both at Wolves and Forest, if we leave Spurs out of it, it's always been a big man.
It has, yeah.
It's always been a big target man who's good with his back to goal, and I don't think that's Callum's sort of forte. Callum's normally running in behind, playing on the shoulder, more of a poacher type. So,
but it's not Callum Marshall's game either, is it? And he's been putting the team ahead of him.
Respectfully to Callum Wilson, though, he can't move like he used to.
So what do you do if you're West Ham then? Don't you have to come up with something slightly different? I mean,
maybe play Jarrod Bowen through the middle.
Personally,
or even play Paquetá and play as a false 9 and try and come up with something.
I think
Somerville.
I think their best 3 is Paquetá, Bowen, and Somerville, right, as their front 3. Play those 3 in their best positions, and then everything else around them, try and accommodate that. What they're trying to do at the moment is they changed the fullbacks at the weekend. And the fullbacks.
Well, they played fullbacks on the wrong side, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's just like put the best people in their simple position. We just spoke about it off air with Daishi going in at Forest. He looked at the group and went, right, you play there because that's what you're good at. You play there, that's what you're good at. And I think now so many coaches and managers come in and try and change things and make it about them than making it about the squad and what they've got at the minute. Just stick to what West Ham are good at. Dare I say, go back to what David Moyes' blueprint was. Be solid, be secure, and hope that those front 3 can win you a game.
The James Ward-Prowse thing is weird as well, because obviously he made a point of not even taking him to Everton for his first game in charge. We know that he was on loan at Forest and obviously was sent back to West Ham. But what you need in a relegation scrap is good characters.
Yes,
James Ward-Prowse is a good character. I don't
100%.
understand the thought process behind alienating him completely.
It's a point I've been making all week to anyone who will listen. James Ward-Prowse has created more chances than any other player for West Ham in the Premier League. Now, you could say, oh, that's skewed because he takes the set pieces. Well, if you need goals, maybe you have to rely on those. I don't know.
And what's everyone doing this year?
Exactly.
Relying on set pieces.
I know you don't want to hear this because obviously you're going out there for Coventry, you're really excited. This could easily be 0-0. You know, West Ham have got no goals apart from Bowen. Leeds have scored 7 times.
But remember, he's not going up there for free. He doesn't care what the score is.
Yeah, it's his 6th game of the week.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, yes. All the travel expenses he's putting must be killing him.
Excuse me. I can't believe you are joining in on this train. Do you know what he said to me last night? Do you know what he said to me last night? Oh, he goes, I don't know how you do all these games. He said, I can't do this every week. I've done three games this week. I don't know if I could cope doing this.
That was on the back of 4 a.m. finishes.
I'm very tired. I'm very tired. I need to have a day off because I don't get a day off. You know, I don't. Even when I'm on the golf course, I'm always working. This is a serious life conversation that we had last night at about 11:30 last night. Jarrod Bowen was interesting after the game on Monday night. I thought he said we're going to have to watch this whole thing back. we're going to have to make sure that we go through the pain of seeing how bad we were in this game.
You don't need to watch it back, Jared. I can tell you what happened. Not a lot.
But he said, ultimately, we're not doing anything well this season, and that's shown in the league and the results. Will having a little bit of time to reflect on it and then a quick opportunity to try and put it right be beneficial for West Ham?
They can't be as bad, can they, tonight? They can't possibly be as bad as they were on Monday, surely.
They can, because they've showed you that's how low it can get. The good thing is that it is a short turnaround. As a player now, as I said to you earlier, Monday they would have played. Tuesday they'd have been watching that game. Wednesday it's just recover and try and get something in there, maybe some shape. Thursday's day before game and travel. Now they're ready. There's not enough time to sit and sulk.
How do you feel about the Nuno Espirito Santo appointment? Because I think everybody thinks great appointment. He obviously done a very, very good job at Nottingham Forest. Didn't go so well at the end of the scenario, but obviously when he first went in there, he did a really good job. He doesn't take any staff with him, does he? He's on his own. He always takes whoever's around him, and he's promoted from the academy, actually, up into the first team at West Ham United. But he didn't have any rest in between what would have been an intense period at Nottingham Forest. Was it wise for him to go straight into a job in a situation that West Ham are already in?
I think it was the moment when he was the flavour of the moment, because everyone felt he'd been treated harshly against Forest. I didn't, and Crookie told me loads of times it was different, because Marinakis, I thought he played a part in that, and I think they wasn't playing great football start of the season. Again, there's loads of things that go into it, but irrespective of whether this manager came in or not, that's not a good football team. That West Ham team isn't a good football team. They've got some good players in it, but they've got some bang average ones. And I'm going to keep banging on this drum. When you sign a large bulk of your players from relegated teams, they're used to losing. They get used to it. You could add one or two, but you can't have people that are continuously being used to that situation. So for me, it's about now, what are they doing? None of the things actually add up. So for one moment, they'll get a goalkeeper who's just got relegated in, Hermansen, who's a young goalkeeper, but then they'll go and sign Callum Wilson at the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
There's no, we're going to build for the long term. It's just scattergun.
And when Graham Potter came in, he brought in his recruitment guru, Carl McCauley. He's been dismissed as well, along with Graham Potter. Now, but I wonder how much Carl McCauley had in terms of control of bringing players in, because the big issue that they've had over the last
took him
few
to
years
Sweden with him as well.
Is this non-stop sort of chain of events where you've got one person recruiting players, then another person taking responsibility for bringing players in, then another one bringing players in. Tim Steighton, Karen Brady, Jack Sullivan. Who's actually in charge of recruitment at this place? Because it hasn't been very good.
Well, David Sullivan signed Callum Wilson, and Carl McCauley and Graham Potter signed the goalkeeper, because if you remember, David Sullivan was trying to sign John Victor, I think is now at Forest, from Botafogo. So that sort of sums up the mess in the boardroom. But to go back to your point about managers bouncing from one job straight into another, there is precedent, isn't there? Harry Redknapp did it, went from Portsmouth straight into Southampton, relegated. Dean Smith did it, sacked by Villa, went to Norwich, relegated. I do think as a manager, when you've been sacked,
that mental,
you maybe need a little bit of time out before going straight back in.
But again, if you're West Ham and you're going to sack Potter, who's that name that jumps out that was available?
Sean Dyche?
That might have been
maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know whether Sean Dyche would have been a good fit at West Ham, because
certainly he seems to have done all right at Nottingham Forest, but maybe it's a better fit because of the relationship.
Exactly. But he's from there as well, lives there, got his staff are from there, gets that. They've got a better squad.
They've got
a much better squad. So I think, again, when you look at it from a West Ham fan point of view, again, without Jared Bowen, what have you got?
Well, that's why I'm surprised Nuno took the job. Unless he just wants a payday, I don't see how he can.
He's had a few pay-ups.
But I don't see how he can enhance his reputation at West
and also,
Ham. I think it's a really difficult
You
job.
ain't trusting that recruitment team to give you the tools that you need in January to help you survive.
Can we stop calling the fella that was with Graham Potter a guru then?
I said his recruitment guru, not our.
Oh, okay, cool. Because again,
there's one guru around here, and it's the guy who goes out in the breaks to see his.
But one of the names they're interested in terms of solving their goal scoring problem is Joshua Zirkzee.
Yeah, I saw that.
I quite like Zirkzee technically, but he's not going to score enough goals, is he?
No, but I think what he does for a West Ham
It'd be a focal point.
A focal point. He runs around, he puts himself about, and he's probably got a little bit more quality than the guys that and he's also got injury problems as well. He doesn't always.
I forgot that he was. I forgot that he was still here.
Yeah, it's because Man United do so well now. They've won 2 in a row. Have you not heard about it?
They win 2 in a row. We don't talk about them.
I know, it's embarrassing.
We haven't mentioned United.
I know. Terrible. We will in a minute because we're going to talk about Brighton.
If they'd have beaten Arsenal first day of the season, they'd be joint top, you know.
Just to let you know, after your disgraceful display of unprofessionalism at Anfield on Sunday, where you were taking pictures of yourself.
For the kids. I wasn't taking pictures of myself. I was taking pictures of the United players celebrating with the fans to send to my boys who, a big United supporters.
Unprofessional.
Anything wrong with that?
Unprofessional.
No, mate. Kids first. For the kids. But go back to West Ham.
Kids, yeah.
Go back to West Ham. Do we genuinely believe, right, that they could be in a position, if it continued, let's say Monday was like the blueprint and they're going to keep putting in performances like that, could they be too far adrift come January?
If they play like they did on Monday night, they won't win another game between now and January.
Wow.
If they play like they did Monday night. But I think there is enough in there that they won't play like that, and Nuno surely is going to try and stiffen that defence. Now, I think the reason that he picked the team that he did, I'm guessing here, was because the players, especially at the back, were trying to deal with the long throws or set pieces, whatever. So he brought in players that he could work with during the international break. Those players that weren't around during that period ended up being on the bench. That was a mistake because his better players were not in the team. His better defenders were not in the team on Sunday. Right, and he did admit that, I suppose, by changing it the way he did. But
tonight, though, they've got
to go out and make a statement.
Otherwise, they've got to go tried and tested as well.
Absolutely.
A lot of focus on West Ham, by the way. But one of the producers here is a massive Leeds fan. He was texting us during the game on Monday night saying if Leeds don't beat this West Ham team, Daniel Farke has to go. That they've had quite an underwhelming start to the season.
I said at the start of the season I thought he was the most under pressure because of the way it ended last year. And obviously he has a few results and people online let me know that was, I was wrong. But I still think it's
16th.
It's not, something's not right there.
In 8 in all competitions.
Something's not quite right there. I don't know what it is. It's just a feeling you get when you're there. And then also they've recruited to play one way, which is be stronger, run over people. But in the Premier League, if you can't score and take your chances, you're in trouble.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin only managed 2 goals in his last 29 appearances in all competitions. Will he start up front tonight? Will he lead the line? Crooks told me it's going to be 0-0 tonight. I promise you it won't be. It's live on talkSPORT this evening at Ellen Road. We kick off at 8 o'clock and we are looking forward to it. Don't worry, it's going to be a humdinger of an atmosphere. We're going to bring it to you live here on the radio. This is talkSPORT with Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and Troy Deeney. It's with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
It's our biggest competition yet, and we're giving you the chance to play and win up to £100,000. It's talkSPORT's biggest ever cash prize, and £100,000 is up for grabs, completely tax-free. If you are the lucky winner of that prize, the excitement doesn't stop there, because you'll also be coming to talkSPORT Towers on Thursday the 13th of November to play for that life-changing cash. Here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a TalkSPORT limited promotion run on TalkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Did I tell you, by the way, that I got one of these today? The Goldstein's Golden Pace.
Stuff.
It is good, isn't it?
Good stuff.
And he signed it for me as well.
He signed it for everyone. You're
Did
not
he?
special.
Oh, right, okay. I thought it was Andy Goldstein back a little bit later on today, apparently signing tubs of hair gel for everybody. And there was me thinking I was a special case. 25 points is the best that Coventry have ever amassed at this stage of a league season. They take on Watford tomorrow live on talkSPORT 2 at 12:30. Watford have won one and lost one since Javi Gracia returned to the club. First of all, Troy, what have you made of Frank Lampard's impact at Coventry City?
Phenomenal. That's all you can say. From coming in, obviously it was a bit of a dodgy decision, wasn't it, for some people when he came in? I remember we did the show.
The fans weren't happy at the time,
Fans weren't too happy. A bit split on whether he had the credentials, but from the moment he's gone in, he's just changed it. Last season, getting to the playoffs and obviously losing out to Sunderland, who obviously are now in the Premier League. But this season, I was more worried this season than I was last year, whether they could go again. But they've not only gone again, they're flourishing, they're playing some wonderful attacking stuff, and they're scoring goals from every angle. And, you know, Thomas Asante, he's got him flying, mate.
5 goals in his last 3 games. He's never scored in 4 in a row. He can do that against Watford. How do they keep him at bay?
Watford have got good players, mate. They have got good players. So like the likes of Jeremy and Gaki at wingback, they could deal with him on their day. The problem with what I have with Watford players at the moment is it's so inconsistent. So if you see the 2 results, they played against Sheffield United, it was and then they play in the week against West Brom, and they're very good. And that's the problem. And in the Championship, the most consistent teams are normally the ones at the top, and I think it's going to be very difficult. You know, when you look at Coventry, they beat Birmingham 3-0, Millwall 4-0, Sheffield Wednesday 5-0, 2-0 Blackburn, and 2-1 Portsmouth. So they're just on this run. You know they're going to score. So it's just trying to, can you score against them?
Every year we have a championship table, and it always feels as if that there's 2 teams that end up running away with it. Are Coventry and Middlesbrough those 2 teams this season?
Potentially. I saw Middlesbrough at Frampton Park a couple of weeks ago. They lost 1-0. They weren't overly impressive, I have to say. But Rob Edwards, obviously, on the whole, has done a really good job there. Stoke are a good side as well, although probably need to find some consistency. But I do think it's quite refreshing that the 3 teams who've come down from the Premier League are all struggling to put results on the board. And obviously there's an opportunity for teams like Coventry. Just to back up what Troy was saying there about the lack of goals conceded, Carl Rushworth, the goalkeeper on loan from Brighton, he set a new record recently, club record, 613 minutes without conceding. Very highly rated within the FA. I do wonder, quite often we've seen at tournaments, the third choice goalkeeper who goes to a World Cup or a Euros is sort of one for the future. I wonder if he might be in that conversation potentially.
Interesting. Watford and Ipswich are the only sides in the Championship yet to win away, drawn 2 and lost 3 of their 5 games without a win. 11 league away games, losing 8 of the last 10, going further back. They've won just 3 of the last 29 in all competition. Be interesting to see if they can change that tomorrow live on talkSPORT 2. It's a 12:30 start. We've had lots of callers and a few text messages today asking for your views, Troy, on Middlesbrough and what you expect from them this season, what you think of their team, what you think of how they're playing at the moment. Second in the Championship behind Coventry City.
Yeah, I said at the start of the season, they're my outside favourites to get promoted. I thought they'd probably go to a playoff place. I expected Birmingham City to be better. Obviously, a Blues fan. I expected...
Is he under pressure, Chris Davis?
A little bit, unfairly.
They expect to get promoted. The owners expect to get promoted.
I think a little bit. I don't think they've done great recruitment, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think they've left him a little bit short.
He wanted a few more, didn't he, before the window closed?
And I think they've done okay, but I think they went so heavy in League One that it was a problem. But going back to answer the question about Middlesbrough, I thought they were good. I thought Rob was a great appointment. Obviously, I know a lot of the coaches there as well. I think they're good lads. They get it. I think they need to give someone like Morgan Whittaker that belief that he can score. And if you see, once he scored his goal two games ago, he's now scored in back-to-back games, and they've got the firepower, which is all they were missing last year. They brought these guys in, but it's difficult to adjust. I think they'll be right up there, and with a start like this, it snowballs them, and they'll keep going. So I would imagine playoffs is a minimum.
The defence is outstanding. They conceded 7 goals.
Yes, but they weren't terribly bad defensively last year. The problem was scoring. They drew a lot of games where they brought in the likes of Kelechi Iheanacho. He didn't score. Morgan Whittaker came in. He didn't really score. I think they got 2 between them from January to the end of the season. So, you need goals in the Championship. It is all about how many goals.
And that is a problem because Conway's only got 2, Whittaker's only got 2, Senna's only got 2 at the moment. That is, they're having to spread the goals around.
I think it's a fascinating Championship table at the moment. You look at Millwall, seen them a couple of times this season. Alex Neil is getting a real tune out of them. Bristol City under Gerhard Struber going well. Nathan Jones on a bit of a redemption arc at Charlton. And Hull City, just outside the playoff places. Our mate Atune Ilikali was getting a bit of stick from their fans over the summer, but they're having a good season.
Can't have a go at him. He took us out on a boat. Fantastic experience that was. We had a great day there. It was in Istanbul when we were there.
I just want everyone to know I'm the only person here that doesn't get bribed to say nice things.
This is talkSPORT. Coventry against Watford, 12:30 tomorrow. We've got a whole weekend of live footballing action. Leeds versus West Ham kicks it off tonight. Stick around. We're talking to Carl Frampton. He's joining us next.
Oh, nice.
Morgan Gibbs White feels like he can finally breathe as Forest won for the first time in over 2 months. Porto were beaten 2-0 at the City Ground, and Sean Dyche has been thanking his players.
To accept what we offered them, and we've crammed a lot in, we've asked a lot of them, and to accept it and come here open-minded and still deliver is very, very pleasing.
Elsewhere in the Europa League, do Villa have a penalty problem? Emi Buendia blazed one over in their loss to go-ahead Eagles. Villa have now failed from the spot 6 times over the last year. North of the border, Celtic bounced back with a 2-1 win over Sturm Graz. Brendan Rodgers had compared his team to a Honda Civic after they lost to Dundee on Sunday.
At the weekend, it's not good enough. So tonight, we weren't quite the Ferrari, but we're Range Rover Sport, I'll go for.
Meanwhile, Danny Röhl says he doesn't have much time to turn Rangers around following their 3-0 loss to Norwegian side Brann. In the Conference League, Dean Henderson has called out his Palace teammates for a lack of intensity during their defeat to AEK Larnaca. Jamie O'Hara doesn't think keepers should be criticising the rest of the team.
You don't see players coming out after the game saying, yeah, not good enough in goal. You know, can't come for a cross, conceding too many, not good enough. You never see a player do that. Never.
And there's plenty more at talksport.com.
I'm happy that he put up his hand. There are a lot of fighters that say they want to fight, but they fight anyone, but they're just saying it, you know?
Past this fight is the Alexander Usyk fight, and that's not a massive fight. That is the fight. That is everything.
The winner of it will be the next challenger to Usyk.
He's a WBA mandatory, I'm WBO, but we're not going to sit around and wait. We want to be busy.
Big right hand there from Parker, and down goes McCauley. This is great work from Parker. The legs are completely gone of Wilder.
Big Joseph Parker!
I think this is a good example of we will fight anyone.
The real drama, the real excitement will come on the 25th.
We are just 24 hours away from a huge heavyweight clash. Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker go head-to-head in a fight that you can hear live on talkSPORT. This is the two boys talking yesterday in the press conference.
For me, this is all or nothing, really. I'm not really thinking about losing this fight. I'm going into this fight to win. And once I win, I'm going to move on to the next fight. I respect my opponent and what he's done in his career and how he's prepared for this fight, but I'm a different level, to be honest. And I want to show it on Saturday night.
And Joseph, just on that, that is a word that you have used in the build-up, level. You believe you're on a different level. So explain to us here, what level are you and what level is Fabio Wardley?
You'll see. You'll see on Saturday night. I don't really want to explain it in words. I want to explain it in action.
The separation between levels and where Joe is and where where people think I am has been a common theme with me throughout my career, to be honest. It's nothing new that I'm hearing. Every time I step up to a new level, it's always, this is the step too far, this is the step too far, until obviously I come through, I win, and then, okay, well, it's the next step, is the step too far. So for me, it's nothing new. I relish the challenge. Proving people wrong, proving doubters wrong, and showing that I am very much at the top level of this division.
Looking forward to this fight tomorrow night, live on talkSPORT. Carl Frampton, former two-weight world champion, joins us now to discuss it. Hi, Carl.
How are you, boys?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Two very likeable guys, no trash talking in that press conference yesterday. There's a lot of respect between the two of them. Who do you think the boxing public are behind more this weekend?
To be honest, even though he's a Brit, Fabio Wardley, I would say Joe Parker. Joe Parker has an unbelievable fan base here. He's well liked. You look at the videos he does, the funny little call-out videos, and people seem to be all over them. So I would probably go as far as saying Joe potentially is going to be more supported than Fabio Wardley on the night.
Yeah, what do you expect, Cole, for this fight? Because for most people, Joe Parker looks like he's the better fighter, does have the better resume, the better hands. Andy Lee's done exceptionally well, but Fabio does have that equaliser. How do you think this fight's going to go?
Yeah, Fabio's always in a fight because he punches so hard, and I think that what was proven in his last fight against Justice Hooney, when he was being comprehensively outpointed, he carries the power because it happened in the last round.
Yeah.
And a lot of fighters don't do that. The power starts to dwindle after maybe the halfway point or so, but he still carries it, which means he's dangerous from start to finish. But I feel like Joe, and it's a bit of a cliche, but Joe is a level above. He has fought at a higher level. The resume is unbelievable. You go way back to Andy Ruiz when Joe was world champion. That's who he won the title from. So I do think that Joe is a level above. And I think as well, with big Fabio, and I know for a fact that Andy Lee, knowing how clever he is, he will have picked up on this. Because of Fabio's lack of amateur experience, he repeats a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
So, for example, he always tries to get off the same way when he's trying to avoid shots when he's on the ropes. And I just feel like there's something there that Joe and Andy Lee will have worked out.
You mentioned about the levels. How does Fabio Wardley compare to Joseph Parker's recent opponents? Because he's come up against Bacoli, Zhang, Wilder, Figueiredo, and Jack Massey. What are the differences that Fabio Wardley is going to bring to this fight?
Well, it's the last three fights in particular. You got to look at. Jack Massey is. I think Fabio Wardley is a level above Jack Massey, and that was one of Joe's. In terms of recent times, it wasn't a great performance from him, but I think that he's improved a hell of a lot since he's teamed up with Andy Lee. Wardley's decent. He's good, but I think that it's difficult for me to make a real strong argument for him winning, apart from maybe landing a lucky shot. He'd be brave. We've seen it in the Fraser Clark fights as well. He's had the nose busted open. He just kept going on. Then he done what he done in the second fight with Fraser Clark. So, look, he's a decent fighter, and I don't want to do the big lad at disservice at all. I think it's an incredible story, and where he's the white collar background that he's had, no amateur experience. But Joe Parker is a better fighter right now than he was when he was a world champion, which I think was about 8 years ago.
Wow.
Without looking to get too far ahead, the rewards for the victor here could be huge. A potential clash with Alexander Usyk. Do you see either man coming out on top against him?
No, I don't see anyone beating Usyk until we start to see sort of signs or evidence that he's on his way out. I think that you have to. Joe is probably, in terms of the current heavyweights, you would say Joe is number 2 in terms of where they stand in the world rankings. Usyk clearly, head and shoulders above everyone else at number 1. But I just don't see anybody living with Usyk at all. The guy's so smart, so good, figures them all out, and he's a generational great, I think.
Carl, I just wanted to ask, with Joe Parker, he's been linked with this fight for so long, hasn't he, with Usyk? Win this one, you'll get it. Win this one, you'll get it. How does that impact a fighter now when it actually feels more and more tangible, like that is the next fight? How does that impact you going into this one when it actually feels that this one could be more tangible?
Yeah, I mean, it adds pressure, I think, a little bit, that they're kind of almost guaranteed that you're the next person to face Usyk if you win this. And the fact that he's fighting an opponent that everybody expects him to win, that brings a different type of pressure as well. I always hated going into fights. I'd rather go into a fight as an underdog rather than go in as a strong favourite, because
is
if you
that the
slip
fear
up,
factor?
I think so. And when you slip up, it's you're embarrassed and everything else. But I think Joe will be okay. I think he'll be aware of that, and he deserves the shot. Either Joe or Caballel deserve the fight. Usyk next. Now I know Tyson Fury. There's been a little bit of talk about him maybe jumping ahead of them, and because of what he's done in the past, I think that's a potential that could happen. But it would be very, very unfair for Big Joe or Caballel if he gets in front of them.
Joe Parker, 6 wins on the bounce. Predictions for the fight then. Where is going to be won and lost, and who's going to walk away with the victory?
I think Joe Parker is going to win. I think that Bobby Wardley has a chance because he's a puncher, but I think that if he gets hit as much as he did against Justice Hooney, Joe Parker will knock him out between around, I'd say around 6 and 8, something like that.
Okay, he's one of the form heavyweights right now outside of Usyk. That's Joe Parker taking on Fabio Wardley tomorrow night live on talkSPORT. Thank you very much to Carl Frampton, the two-way world champion, coming on the show today to speak to us about that huge heavyweight clash, which is live tomorrow on talkSPORT. Tomorrow night, the former heavyweight champion and current WBO interim champion Joseph Parker takes on the WBA interim heavyweight champion Fabio Wardley. It's live from the O2. The winner will all but guarantee themselves a shot at one of the undisputed champion Alexander Usyk's belt. Watch live tomorrow only on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Buy now at dazn.com/boxing.
It's talkSPORT, it's Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and Troy Deeney. And on Sunday, Game Day Live comes from the Emirates Stadium at Arsenal when they take on Crystal Palace. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff. We'll be taking you around the grounds. Busy day of action for you, actually, on Sunday. So the best place to be is talkSPORT and the talkSPORT app. Arsenal take on a Crystal Palace team that have been missing chances. And Eberechi Eze has just come under a little bit of scrutiny. He's had chances to add to his 1 goal against Port Vale in the Carabao Cup. 2 assists. He's contributed 14 goals and 12 assists in all competitions for Palace last season, but since switching South London for North London, where is his best role in the Arsenal team, do you think?
I still think it's in that 10, or like when they played the 2-8 advanced. I think what he's struggling with at the moment is at Palace, everything went through him. Yeah. It was give him the ball and let him do whatever he wants to do. When you go to these much bigger, better clubs in Arsenal, and that's not a dig at Palace, it's just bigger and better. You've got Saka who wants the ball. You've got Rice who wants the ball. You've got Odegaard who wants the ball. It becomes, you have to share it, and I think you have to become more efficient with what you're doing, and that's just the adjustment period at this moment in time. But for once in a while, Arsenal, you don't really have many complaints about them. They look a complete outfit at this moment in time.
The boy Crook was very complimentary.
Crowned them champions of the Premier League and Champions League.
No, I didn't say that. I said it
sounded like that.
It did sound exactly like that.
And you gave me the information. Opt to make them favourites of both competitions.
You couldn't formulate your own opinion. You had to get told by Sam.
But I do think, listen, if they don't win the league this year, I'm not sure they ever will. You know, when you look at Liverpool have already lost, for me, too many games. I know Man City are lurking, but there's that stat that no team have lost 3 of their first 4 since 1992-93 and gone on to win the title. I just don't see where Arsenal are going to lose games because they never look like conceding goals. You know, their defenders have scored more goals than they've conceded this season.
Yeah, no, it's great, that back line. I do think they're giving you that they're very simple in what Arsenal do, but they're great at it.
They're effective, aren't they?
They are. You know they're going to go wide to Saka or whoever's on the opposite side and put crosses in the box. You know they're going to be really good from set pieces, but they only have to get one right to win a game.
Which they did. To be fair, Atletico, they were brilliant defending their set pieces up until they conceded from a set piece. And it all unravelled.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Arsenal are in a good position. I think City will continue to develop and grow throughout the whole of it. The real thing about Arsenal is, can they deliver the pressure long term? Because now they're becoming favourites. Now they're going to still want to compete and get a real good draw in the Champions League. And it's just around that February, March time, isn't it, when we're going to really see, can they compete on 3 or 4 fronts?
They've come undone at that time of the season before, and they did the defeat at home to Aston Villa, obviously last season as well, dropping points.
Had a tricky time at Crystal Palace in the past, 2-2 the last time these two met.
Good time to play Palace, I think, on the back of what happened last night. Yeah, I thought one or two of the Palace players, Mateta in particular, just looked a little bit jaded last night.
I think the opposite.
He says they're not jaded. He says they're fresh and they're ready to go.
I think as well also, that level, that embarrassment, it can make you go again. And also, you'd want a big game if you're Palace. You want an Arsenal, because you know Arsenal they're gonna come forward. I think Arsenal win, and I think that they'll make it comfortable. But I think there'll be times in the game with the pace of Ismail Assar running. You know, when they get caught in the counter attack, a little bit like Haaland did. If you remember that goal where it was all Arsenal pressing, they get the ball together 1 or 2 times, and then Haaland can just break with that pace, and they can't live with it. I think Ismail Assar has that level of pace as well to get away from him.
Good time to be an Arsenal fan, though, at the moment. There's a big opportunity, I think, for Arsenal to just put a bit of distance between them and those below them in the table. They've got 19 points, City 16, Liverpool 15. They play Crystal Palace at home at the weekend. Their next league deployment is Burnley away. You'd expect them to get 3 points in that game. Then they go to Sunderland away before the international break. After that, though, when we come back from the last international break of the year, it's quite tough for them. They've got Tottenham in the North London derby at home, Bayern Munich in the Champions League, Chelsea away from home live with us. We'll be there for that one. Arsenal then entertain Brentford in that midweek where we've got all of the Premier League fixtures on talkSPORT. And then they go to Aston Villa. So November and early December is going to be a pivotal period for them.
I would respond to that, though, and just say, if you look at the games they've already navigated, Arsenal away, Liverpool away, Man City at home.
Man United away. They can't play Arsenal away.
Mate.
Sorry, Man United away, Liverpool away, and
I didn't give them that
and Man City at home. They're difficult fixtures. They've already navigated.
They have navigated them, but also remember they lost to Liverpool. They drew with City at home, and they were the games where people were saying, and again, I think Arsenal fans take this the wrong way. It's a compliment when we're saying that Arsenal should be going and beating these teams because of where they were at. It's a compliment. And I do think when it gets to those moments, like the 3 games you just spoke about there, with it being Spurs, Bayern Munich and Chelsea, will they resort back to 2 holding midfielders, try and be safe, try and be secure, and allow other teams to probably make the gap on them if they end up drawing those games?
Well, the other problem that you have is that at the moment, they're getting the job done. Lots of 2-0s, lots of 1-0s, lots of tight games being won. Yeah. They're not blowing people away. There will be tighter games that come where they don't get over the line and they need something a little bit different. The idea of bringing Eze into the team, for example, was to add a little bit of magic. The idea of bringing Victor Gyökeres in the team was to be able to stretch teams, get in behind,
scoring the big games. Yeah,
focal point. Now let's go into. Okay, all right. You've rolled your eyes there. Let's go into Troy Deeney's clinic and look at. No, but let's be serious about it. Let's go into Troy Deeney's clinic and look at Victor Gyökeres as a striker. What do you think of him, and what has he got to do differently to make sure that he continues his scoring run? He got 2 in the week
to convince you.
I think he's got to just keep doing what he's doing. Like, he's playing better in the last 3 or 4 games. You do this, he scores 2. Again, all goals for strikers count. They weren't clinical finishes, right?
The first one was scruffy and the second one hit him on the way in.
And when did they come? Did they come at 0-0?
No.
They come when? At 2-0, when the game gets more open and Athletic have to try and do something. So my point is with him, I think he's a good striker. I don't think he's in that bracket of your Haalands, your Salahs, your Isaks or Ekitike in this situation. I just think he has to now score in those games when it's tight against those bigger teams. And this is not like me disrespecting the fella. Like, look at his career. I've done it. Look through his career. He normally scores against the mid to low levels, and that's where he gets a lot of his goals. And then he'll score, when you're winning. I'm not saying he's a flat track bully by any stretch, but I think in those bigger games,
that's exactly what you said on Saturday. You did when we were at Nottingham Forest. You were saying you were trying to put words into my mouth.
You said it.
I didn't say it. You tried to make me say it.
You know what he does when he does the FA Sam stuff? When he dances all the way around it and he says it. And I said, "Are you just calling him a flat trap bully?"
No, that's not what I said.
And then he went, "We're going to go to break." And just jumped off.
To be fair, I've said it earlier in the season, and I think that the stats are probably there to back it up. Even those big games in Portugal,
100%.
Against the likes of the Benficas and
what are the stats
and the Portos. Well, you read them out the other night.
And now you can't remember him. Anyway,
but he tends to get more of his goals against the lesser lights.
But basically, he hadn't scored in the last
in the Prem.
Yeah, he's 3 in 10.
3 in 10 in the Prem. That's okay.
He's got a couple in the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
The goals against the bigger opponents in Portugal. The last 4 games he didn't score in games against them. The previous one was a penalty. But in the first 3 games against those big teams in Portugal, he did score goals. A couple from open play as well. So I think what Troy is saying is that he isn't sometimes the difference maker in those 100%. Big games.
Yeah.
And that's what Arsenal will need going forward.
And if you look at Man City, let's take them as a perfect example. If they're going to challenge, win anything this year, it's on Haaland.
It is, yeah.
He's the difference maker, right? Or Donnarumma, the goalkeeper. When you look at Arsenal, I still say that is Saka for me. I still go Saka is that person. You'll go as far as that young man will take her. Yeah, or the 2 centre-halves.
Ben Hart has texted in. He's 28. He's a Leeds fan. He says, best presenting trio on the radio. Should definitely get more airtime. How much do we pay for that?
Whoever Ben is.
Ben?
We're worried about tonight, fella, but thank you very much.
Morning, guys. Great show as always. I'm just wondering if you can give my son Oscar, 9 years old, a shout out. He was involved in an accident. He's hit by a car and he spent the last week at Alder Hey Hospital. My daughter used to work in Alder Hey Hospital. I hope you're well. They always give you brilliant care. So he's got a broken arm, he's got a fractured pelvis and 2 fractured ribs. He's a massive United fan. He loves Crookie. Cheers, guys. And P.S. I love Troy. Thank you very much. Listen, I hope he...
You didn't get a mention there.
I didn't get a mention. That's all right. I don't mind. I don't want one. But listen, Alder Hey Hospital, Liverpool, absolutely fantastic children's hospital. And look, you're in the best place. So, Oscar, good luck, mate, and hope you get better soon. The boys are coming up after 1 o'clock. We're off to Leeds United. Who's coming to Leeds United West Ham tonight? Who wants to come?
No, I've got a hair appointment.
I think I might go and play pool.
I'll see you at 8 o'clock.
you.